cette édition de la Challenge Cup qui est remportée par les Dragons catalans.
A well-deserved try. And Yaha will wrap it up for the Dragons.
Champions, the Wigan Warriors.
This probably the biggest game in their Super League history.
This afternoon, our action from the Betfred Super League comes from the northeastern coast of the Iberian Peninsula. Rugby League fans in their thousands have descended on beautiful Barcelona to savour the sights and sounds of one of the world's greatest cities. And after gazing at Gaudi, perambulating the many plazas, and of course admiring the Med, all eyes will turn to today's main event. And that is the round 15 clash of the Challenge Cup holders and the Super League champions. The Dragons and Warriors lock horns on the most magnificent of stages. Kick-off at the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona, 3:30 p.m. here on Sky Sports. Well, Gigo and Gildart, Bird and Burgess now follow in the footsteps of Ronaldinho and Rivaldo, Maradona and, of course, Messi as they enter the cathedral-like environs of the Nou Camp Stadium. A never-to-be-forgotten experience for the stars of the Super League and the lucky fans that have made the trip as Rugby League returns to Barcelona. Now, with kick-off about 15 minutes away, the players will now focus on the 2 competition points available as the Warriors recover impressively from what was a poor start to their season. A win now would put them ever closer to the top 5, land currently occupied by the Dragons. Yes, good afternoon and welcome to our very special coverage of this magnificent day for Super League. Action from the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona between the Catalan Dragons and the Wigan Warriors. And I'm joined in studio for this momentous day by Phil Clark and Tony Ray. We'll get the thoughts of the gentlemen shortly. But firstly, a little bit of a background to this game. Last August, the Challenge Cup was won, of course, by the Catalan Dragons. Following that victory, they were invited by FC Barcelona to parade the trophy at the Nou Camp Stadium. They took up that invitation, and then the president of Barcelona, Josep Maria Bartomeu, invited them back to play a Super League match at his iconic ground. They took up that invitation, they brought the Wigan Warriors along, and that is how we are here today. We're here in the studio bringing you the game. The luckiest man in the Sky Sports crew is over in Barcelona. We can cross now to Richard Graves to get a feeling for the atmosphere that was on the streets of Barcelona this morning, and of course the atmosphere that is building currently in the ground. Richard.
Well, I can't argue with that, Brian. We certainly are lucky to be here, as are the thousands of fans that have made it over from the UK as well. The record stands for a regular Super League season game at 25,400. I can tell you there is great confidence that that's going to be shattered today, and there's some degree of confidence that it might even breach the 30,000 mark for this game. And everybody around here is that wrapped up into it. The city's taken Super League to its heart that I've been around conversations, I have to tell you, in the last 24 hours or so, Brian, where they're openly discussing the possibility of could we do something like this again next year? Maybe not necessarily here at the Nou Camp, but maybe another high-profile football venue. That has been the success of this weekend to this point, and certainly they're hoping it's going to be capped off with a fantastic battle between 2 great teams this afternoon.
Well, if it does happen next year, we'll be hoping they bring a full presentation team over there. Richard, you've had a look at the players as they've walked out onto the field before their warm-up and during their warm-up. What were the expressions on the faces of the stars of Super League?
I won't say that they were overawed, but they're certainly very impressed. Even some of the greats of the game in years gone by, Ellery Hanley was one of them that I spoke to about an hour ago, and you know, he's graced some of the finest stadia the world over, including the likes of Wembley Stadium and Old Trafford. And he did say that there was a tingle of excitement within him that he might like to have a chance to run out here. Certainly for the players themselves, Dan Sarginson, Greg Bird, they're thrilled to be here. It is a pristine surface behind me. It could be a bowling green, quite simply, out there. And the question is, can these 2 teams serve up the feast of Super League that we're looking forward to this afternoon? And one word of note as well, I can tell you, I got a sneak peek inside the home dressing room, not just of Barcelona, but today the Catalan Dragons. And the locker, usually occupied by Lionel Messi, today goes to the Catalan Dragons captain, Remy Castri.
Could that be an omen? Thank you very much, Richard Graves. Go and enjoy the game, and we'll speak to you later on. There we go, gentlemen. You both have seen so much in the game of rugby league on both sides of the hemisphere, or the equator, I should say. Tony Ray, did you ever think you'd be broadcasting a game from the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona?
And when you saw the scenes, the opening shots, when the camera was going over the beautiful city of Barcelona, it made you feel proud, didn't it? As a rugby league guy, I think the impact it's had out there, quite clearly, listening to Richard, and it always does. There's one thing great about rugby league, when you take these events, be it the Millennium, even living in London when the Challenge Cup comes to town, it stuns me how rugby league people, how good these people are at embracing the city, and becomes mutual. The empathy goes both ways, and the city embraces rugby league.
Well, people get involved in sport, both as players and fans, for the experiences it provides and the memories that will give. And for both the players and all of the supporters who've made the journey to get to Barcelona, these are things that they'll talk about for many years to come. And that's very important, isn't it, that we provide both of those for people on and off the field. The atmosphere building up of this has been fantastic. It really has given a lift. And the Catalan Dragons, if anything, French Rugby League needs a boost. This is a perfect time to provide that. We spoke before we came on air to Rudolf Pires, the man who brought that iconic commentary lines from the Challenge Cup final victory. He said that for people involved with the Catalan Dragons and for the broader French Rugby League Federation, this is a very special occasion. He saw people walk out onto the field this morning with tears in their eyes, such was the joy they were experiencing. And they need to harness that emotion, I'm sure they will. But that sport, rugby league, does obviously compete. It's not as well known as rugby union or football, competes for some of the headlines and attention in France. This is a wonderful opportunity for them to do that, particularly in that southern French region there now, really to harness some interest and take them on to that next phase. It won't be just those people that will have to harness their emotions, the players too, and that may be the jobs of both coaches. And we can speak now to Steve McNamara and Adrian Lamb, who were talking with Richard just a little while ago.
Adrian, I'm sure many in Super League never thought they'd see a day when a Super League game was played here at the Nou Camp. Now you're here, sun's out. What do you make of this?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been amazing. Even yesterday when I think we got 4,000 fans that have travelled over to support us. We went and watched them yesterday. But when you walk in the stadium and look around and think about the history that's been here and just the size of it, it's, you know, the boys have been looking forward to it.
Well, Steve, this is all a bit different to the days when you were playing rugby league. What a venue, what a feeling, what an atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there with your cup finals and your grand finals, and the sun's out. It's going to be a big crowd, you know, an unbelievable venue and two good teams.
When you met the Catalan Dragons earlier this season, it was a resounding 42-0 win. Does that performance, that game, have any bearing on this occasion?
No, not really. You know, it's a home game for them. I mean, it'd be worse if we had to travel up to Catalans itself. We've had some great victories up there, but you know, I think we had a lucky start last time we played, and we just managed to maintain that through the match. So, you know, we're looking for a big game. I know this is an important week for them, for the whole Catalonia area, and the supporters are going to be travelling here in big numbers. So they're going to be aggressive at the start, and you know, we've got to match that.
How important is it that Wigan played the game today, not the occasion?
Yeah, we've talked about that quite a fair bit this week, but you know, there's a lot of experienced players in there that know what the occasion's about, and we've just got to, once the emotion settles down, just play like Wigan, train, and Wigan are, and who we are as a DNA, and we're looking forward to making sure that we play the best we can.
You know the way the table shapes up. Potentially a victory here today could take you as high as third. Is this the season now we're finally seeing the Dragons break through in Super League?
Oh, we hope so. I mean, there's lots of teams in the mix there. You know, you can't really rule anybody out at this stage for the top five. So you just got to keep plugging away, picking your wins up, and obviously this feels a bit different today, but ultimately it is for 2 points.
It is an occasion in itself, isn't it? And I guess as head coach, your job is to ensure that the players play the opposition, not the occasion. How tough will that be?
There's a bit of both, because you've got to let them sample the atmosphere. This is different, it is special, and generally that brings out the best of teams. I'm sure you're going to see that today with both teams.
Let's take you inside the home changing rooms at the Nou Camp Stadium, occupied by the Catalan Dragons. It is a special occasion, says Steve McNamara. It is different, but Tony Ray, two very important competition points available, a point that cannot be lost on the players today.
It's hugely important, the 2 points out there, and I think they'll keep redressing that. The early parts will be the emotion, the occasion bit. They'll be trying to win the energy battle early on. Catalan are up against it, I think, from there on game control. I just think their halves won't have the game control of Wigan, so when the emotion comes out, Wigan need to just stay tight, like wrestling a bigger man, just hold him tight for the opening exchanges. And Wigan should be able to kick long, kick strong and chase hard and take Catalan out of the occasion.
Slightly worrying for the Catalan Dragons would be the last time they faced Phil Clark, the Wigan Warriors, they were beaten 42-0, and since then, it's inarguable that the Warriors have improved, culminating in perhaps their best performance of the season in defeat against the Warrington Wolves in the Challenge Cup last week.
They were very impressive. Some would argue they're unlucky not to win that game. But sometimes when you lose a narrow match, it can also have a draining effect, and they put so much effort into it, and mostly being knocked out of the cup. You make reference to the fact that they did play in Wigan on Mother's Day. In that game, I think my Mother's defence would have been stronger than some of the Catalan Dragons, because in the second half, some of the tries they conceded were terrible. I don't see that being the case today here. All of the Catalan Dragons behind Remy Castilla in that line, they know they have to provide season-best performances. I've been unimpressed so far this season by the Catalan Dragons. They've not convinced me yet that they're a top-5 team. This, for me, is a perfect platform for them to kick-start their season here with a strong performance and a win over Wigan.
All eyes of the Catalan Dragons will no doubt be on that left-edge attack for the Wigan Warriors, who were sensational in the 42-0 win. I'm thinking in particular of Oliver Gildart, Joe Burgess and Joe Greenwood.
I agree with that, and I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. I think they'll be going backwards. I think they'll be feeling the pressure of the occasion, the responsibility of it. I just don't think that the quality of their middle will fatigue in this big game. I just think they'll get opened up and they'll be on the back foot, and that left edge will expose them.
Tony, what would the final few words of a coach be to his players when they're walking out on a stage like this, that is undoubtedly going to affect different players in different ways?
I think the first thing you'd be saying is, first thing, suck up the atmosphere and enjoy that. And as soon as we go to kick off, make sure you're ready for that first touch. Think about the first run. Think about an action that you're going to do to take you into the game. What
about from a player's perspective, Phil? You're standing there, you're going to listen to the Catalonia national anthem shortly being sung. What's going through the mind of the players?
I think not to lose concentration, I guess. And if you do lose concentration, you're off dreaming about where you might be, and you never imagined that you'd be stood in this situation. As Tony says, though, that first contact, I think, should bring you back to earth and focus your mind back on where you want to be and what you need to do to start the game well for your team.
Well, they've travelled south in their thousands from Perpignan. Thousands more have flown over. Not just fans of the Wigan Warriors, fans of all Super League clubs and Rugby League clubs have made their way to the Mediterranean to see this historic fixture in the Nou Camp Stadium. Bernard Gouache standing by there, and we are ready now for the Catalonian national anthem that will be sung by Albert Bueno with a supporting chorus.
Bueno and the choir roaring out to that anthem to the joy of the Catalan Dragons supporters. Now is down for Remy Castilla. What an honour it is to this club record appearance holder to lead the side on a day like this. A day that will be marked by a minute's applause for Bruno Gouache, who died recently after a long illness. He was the 57-year-old brother of the Catalan Dragons president Bernard Gouache, and Bruno Gouache was a half-back who played for and captained Sant Esteve and Tres Catalan. He also represented France twice, including an appearance against Great Britain in 1984 at Headingley. He was a popular figure around the Catalan club, and there is Bernard Gouache, and nephew Joan Gouache also plays for the club. This in honour of Bruno Gouache. Applause there in honour of Bruno Gouache, and brother Bernard will be hoping, and nice gesture from Ian Lenigan, his counterpart at Wigan Warriors. Bernard will be hoping that his side can honour his departed brother with victory in this momentous match in Barcelona. Thomas Bosch out there. Phil Clark, just very briefly, we heard the Catalan anthem. We hear it every Saturday we do a Catalan game. The essence of it.
Well, it's about the defenders of the land, and the Catalan Dragons need to defend their land, and specifically their own try line here today. They need to defend it very well against a pumped up and pretty excited Wigan outfit, and hope that at the very end of it they've got more points and a famous victory.
Hard not to be excited, Barry.
Bill, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. I cannot believe we were at such an iconic stadium playing the greatest game of rugby league. So let's hope for an absolute belting match.
It is amazing as Ben Thaler awaits the start of this game, the referee.
I'll tell you when, Zach.
And it is a momentous game. To think that we're in Barcelona for this game. And it's Anfield next week, another iconic ground for the Magic Weekend. But now it's Super League round 15. When it comes down to it, that's what this is all about, and that's what they're playing for. As the game gets underway and Samisoni Langi gets the first touch, and this is a key area for the Catalan Dragons, because of course there is no Sam Tompkins, there is no Matty Smith, there is no Lucas Albert. Their half-back partnership is Greg Bird and Samisoni Langi.
Well, for me, Bill, they're giving the game plan away. When you think back to that famous Challenge Cup run and ultimately victory they had last year, 2018, it was built on the back of forward dominance, the middle channel, power game, and what they've done is they've picked players, albeit they were hamstrung a little bit with injuries and a little bit of a lack of form, but what they've done is they said, we're going to take you on up the middle and try and run over the top of you.
But the kicking duties will fall to Tony Gigo, and it's his kick that is launched high, and Liam Marshall didn't want anything to do with that one. Unfortunately for him, it found touch.
Oh, he rolls his eyes. He knows that a good first touch is imperative in a big game on such a fabulous occasion. I keep coming back to the same word, special. This is a special game, once in a generation, maybe once every 2 decades. We get a highlight like this, and the players, especially as we saw the disappointment of Liam Marshall, will want to get a good positive first touch.
And the pitch is in immaculate condition, as you would expect at the Nou Camp. But they have had, in actual fact, the Barcelona ground staff assistance of members of the UK's Institute of Groundsmanship in preparing the pitch. They've been out in Barcelona helping the Barcelona ground staff prepare this pitch, get the markings right. And that's the halfway line with Wigan in possession. Ball in the hands of Ben Flower. Powell and Lulawai both on the field at the same time. On this occasion, Powell named as hooker. And his first Super League start since March. That ball eventually pounced on by the alert Remy Casti.
It was a misfired kick, wasn't it, by Wigan? I'm interested to see which tactics they use with them having an established half-back partnership. How they're going to move this big pack around or they're going to try and tire them out.
As Kenny Edwards had his injury problems in the last few weeks. Over the halfway line, Gigot, Samoa, Moa.
4.
Meets a kindred spirit in Ben Flower. Two uncompromising players, and it's left Moa on the ground.
Time off. Tackle 4.
He looks uncomfortable. Sam Moa. Big responsibility on Ben Flower's shoulders. Hasn't been at his best so far in 2019. Looks like he's carrying a few injuries to me. I don't know whether that's an impact injury or just a little bit of twisting in the wrong direction, but Sam Moa is not the type of bloke to stay down unless he's felt something.
Yeah, we've missed you, Michael.
He's missed only one game this season so far, Sam Moa, and he's has a very robust approach, shall we say.
Well, his main asset is his work defensively, puts a lot of pressure on the first receiver, loves a big tackle, loves big impact, and on that occasion,
wait there, Sam.
when he's carting the ball up,
Sam,
just gets up awkwardly, but thankfully he's okay from Catalans' perspective to get on with the match.
No, it seems to be okay. Here is Greg Bird then.
5, move back!
We heard from him before the game
Go.
on Sky Sports News. Bit of a scruffy play, the ball. And then Gigot kicks crossfield into the shadows. And this time Marshall is underneath that one to claim on behalf of the Wigan Warriors, who go into this game after a sterling performance against Warrington. OK, they went out of the cup against Warrington, but it was probably one of their best performances for many a week.
3, move,
we'll get to see what with these conditions. And a firmer pitch suits the Wigan side. They've played with a lot of width so far this season, even when the weather hasn't been good. And they attempt to do that now with Greenwood. But fast-moving defence from David Mead closes down that play.
5.
Mead, so crucial in the centres for Steve McNamara. He did toy with the idea of playing Mead at full-back in the absence of Sam Tompkins, but instead opted for that man, Tony Gigot.
Well, that's a nice pass from Gigot, but we've seen when he's given that responsibility, it takes away that maverick style that he's got. And Steve McNamara has chosen to keep him at the back, keep him at full-back and allowing that free rein. Good defensive set from Catalan, that last set of 6. 25, 30 metres made at most.
Haven't mentioned Michael McAlorum, who is back in action after a lengthy absence. 9 out, he's just returned, and he is crucial. And Lange, with the run, he was looking for somebody to help him, but there was nobody on his shoulder, and Wigan can counter now. Here is Williams, and Mead wrestling him to the ground eventually.
Well, they had so much success when they last played the Dragons that it's inevitable that they're going to pass wide. Gildart, Burgess, Williams on that left side were just too quick for the French team. And I think maybe again today they want to back themselves pace. They may not be quite as big as the Dragons, but I think they believe they're fitter and faster.
Tony Clubb plays the ball just over the halfway line. On the break from Greenwood, but he's lost it. And Tierney picks it up against his former club. Lewis Tierney, once a Wigan player. 18 tries in 40 appearances for him before leaving the club. And he's had 3 years now, into his 3rd year.
Well, both sides making unforced errors. Samisoni Lange over on Catalan's left, and then over on Wigan's left edge. As Phil said, so fruitful, so destructive over on that lethal left edge of Wigan Warriors, and Joe Green would be disappointed to lose grasp and grip of that ball. Good charge by Sam Moa.
Doesn't seem too inconvenienced by that knock. Ben Flower was seeking to set him down again. Here is Kenny Edwards. Skimming in field, but he is brought down 20 metres out. 4 tackles, first penalty of the game, and could be first points of the game because it's bang in front of the posts. And it's a gimme, surely.
Beautiful footwork from Kenny Edwards. So light on his feet. Watch him, left foot, right foot, and he ends up with a legs tackle from the hooker, Sam Powell. So when he's trying to get up, there's no weight, there's no control of that tackle, and Sam Powell's just clinging on round his ankles. Illegal, and rightly the referee blows for the penalty.
And Tony Gigot is going to go for 2. The sun out. It was a pretty wet and grey day in Barcelona on Friday. Clouds have cleared. What a great trip.
And probably, I guess, Tony Gigo will be happy with the fact that this kick is centrally field-paced. Sam Tompkins has taken every single one of the goal kicks, conversions or penalty goals that the Catalan Dragons have had this season. Been relatively successful. Last year, Tony Gigo had a few attempts, 20 in total, and managed to get most of them over, but this is a test here now. Not the easiest test you could get. Centrally placed, 20 metres from the goal post. Should see his side take a 2-point lead.
Beaten when they met the Wigan Warriors back in March, 42-0 Catalan Dragons. And they have got their first points of the season against Wigan.
Here's Samasona Lange's mistake. You can see him, he's trying to make that ball available. And there was enough hustle from Wigan just to dislodge the ball. Lewis Tierney, he'll relish the battle. Going back to the point you made of Michael McAlorum, no doubt Steve McNamara has asked Michael McAlorum, are you ready, are you okay? He's put his hand up and he'll play such a huge part, bearing in mind the squad that they've picked, that middle channel, that... there's a mistake!
Put it down.
Julian Bousquet, one of those big men we've been talking about. He's looking at where he's going to run and just fumbles his simple pass. There's McAlorum.
His French is improving. I wonder if it's good enough to tell Julian Bousquet.
I would imagine he learned that very early on.
Wait there, boys, please.
How to let people around him know what he wants and what he's not happy with. Uncompromising character, McAlorum.
Well, that fumble by Julian Bousquet from the restart has immediately put Wigan in a great position here. And Sam Powell, you just saw him there, just barking out instructions. In the moment, they're going to keep it simple. And Tony Clubb tackled. Now with Luluai. Luluai. Short ball. Romain Navarrete, big honour for him, former Catalan Dragons player, Frenchman in the side. Plays the ball at 5 metres out. Luluai. They're going to give it a bit of width. They're going to give it plenty of width. They're going to give the ball to Burgess, and Burgess is driven back and almost into touch, and Catalan scrambling across there. But the threat hasn't gone yet. 4 tackles gone. Greenwood. That's the 5th tackle. Bousquet desperate to atone. Little sniping run from Powell. Powell to Greenwood. Luluai. Luluai then puts the grubber kick in, but it's fielded and well dealt with.
Not quite enough on that kick. Sam Powell, he pops out, he's looking for some support. When they were shifting the ball from right to left, Wigan, they looked dangerous, didn't they? There wasn't enough space for Joe Burgess over on that left side, but you can see when Wigan are in that sweeping play, accelerating, slowing down, drawing in defenders. Catalan up to it on that occasion.
It's a good run from Braden Williame. Made a bit of a dent in the Wigan defence, but that's 4 tackles gone, and they're still in their own half. Here is Matt Whitley. Very much at home now with the Catalan Dragons. Originally from St Helens, came to the Dragons from the Widnes Vikings, and look at the look of... Oh, it looks so hard done by.
Oh dear, you're right, Bill. For me, he's been the most consistent performer. Never mind new recruits, he's been the most consistent performer for the Catalan Dragons. He's under pressure, he's under a little bit of scrutiny. Here's that shift in play, beautiful ball from George Williams, but Lewis Tierney and his colleagues do enough. Committed defence from the Catalan Dragons. No doubt they will be inspired by this occasion.
Mead again to the fore. To deny Joe Burgess there, but they are going to have their work cut out once again, because Wigan have head and feed after that tackle, and there's another one, and it's high from Kenny Edwards. Penalty.
It doesn't matter how good you are at defending, Bill, if you continue to do it, especially in conditions like this. It is a very large pitch by rugby league standards. Joe Greenwood's just going down. He's caught one from Kenny Edwards.
He's had several bangs to the head this season. They'll make sure that he's going to be okay. Great kick to touch there now from Hardacre. Good attention to that. 12-13 metres from the try line.
Ken, get here.
Gildart taps that. Oh, that's not the best of passes. And the ball is going to come up for the Catalan Dragons, is it?
Good hustle.
That's
enough gone by Catalan, wasn't it? Wigan ball.
Good hustle by the Dragons, though, Phil. Up quick. Even though that ball was a bouncing ball on the floor. Loose pass. You're right. They fluffed the lines there. It looks like. Looks like, is it Sam Powell that doesn't quite have a goal? Wigan get the head and feet at the scrum, so they'll still keep possession.
Wait there, please.
I'm not too sure why Sam Powell pulls out of that pass and catch. But they get away with it, Warriors.
Okay, shot clock off. Out.
So let off for Wigan there after they messed that up. And that's good defence again. And Gildart is hounded. Olivier Gildart, as they're referring to him in Barcelona.
Movement, Braden!
He's got blistering pace and he gets a chance. They know he's been hurt and exposed by him in the past. Two players to cover him tonight.
Ben Flower. Yeah, it's a lovely surface and plenty of space for a flyer like Gildart. Luluai toying with the Catalan defence, but Edwards held his concentration, and that ball is batted down. Edwards is adjudged to have
No, just a minute.
stolen it. Gigo intervenes.
All right.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the referee just chooses to take this opportunity to have a word with one or two of the Catalans players. There was a moment ago where there was an almighty collision where players were hit on suspicion. The reach around penalty gives Wigan possession again, more possession and more pressure.
Some defending for the Catalan Dragons to do now, because Wigan are hammering away at their defence. And Luluai, short pass for Ben Flower. Flower struggling to get to his feet. Then they come to the other side of the field. And again, Catalan just managed to deny Navarrete. And again, they
held up tackle for Sam Powell.
do their best, and it's Powell who is held up. He loves going for those.
He's had a go at the line there, perhaps a little bit too tall, but the Dragons up to it.
Quickly taken. Williams darting back into the middle of the field, where he runs into the clutches of Julian Bousquet. And now Luluai puts the kick in, the chase, and the ball is dotted down. Greenwood was chasing.
Is this the third or fourth possession they've had to defend?
Fifth tackle, I've got no try.
Wants to have a look at it.
Can we just make sure there's no knock-on off Wigan before it's grounded by Catalan, please?
Ben Thaler, no try. Did Joe Greenwood knock that on before it was grounded by the Catalan player?
Well, this would be an almighty relief for the Catalan Dragons, who've had 3 or 4 minutes of defence. It's a nice little kick, right weight and depth on it.
In general, it's good.
This is the angle that will tell us the story we need to know.
I tell you what, Sam Moa collared Tommy Luluai after that ball had gone.
No, I don't think Joe Greenwood touches that ball. I think the first...
I won't go against you if that's the case.
First action.
There's nothing there to show it, is there? I think that it will be, you're right, there will be a goal on drop. Right. Big concern for Catalan, and that Greg Bird seems to need physiotherapy treatment. He grounds the ball with his right hand, but he's been holding either left shoulder or his left hand into an awkward position. Got to hope that he can shake that off. I think we've looked at that enough times in my eyes there now to make a decision.
Is he having a look at Sam Moa there? You spotted it in real time, Bill. That's his MO. Sam Moa puts pressure on that first receiver.
Just penalty.
He's left a few half-backs on their backsides this season, notably Jordan Abdul. And Ben Thaler has called Sam Moa out. Or he's called Remy Casti out. Or he's called both of them out. He's called Sam Moa out.
Rem, we've already got a man tackling him, right? And then we've got Sam coming in, which is clearly late, which is a foul. The ball is clearly gone when you're coming in. You've got to be really careful, mate, when this ball's gone. All right? Just think about what we're doing. It's a penalty here.
So it's a penalty, bang in front. Well, just to the left of the post, but if they choose to go for 2.
Well, you got it. The video referee had to have another look at it. You spotted it first time, Bill. Sam Moa, you can pretty much guarantee that's what he's going to do, and that's the reason those half-backs, Luluai, Williams and Powell, when he's in there, will just have some peripheral awareness of where Sam Moa is.
So Sam Powell will tap it on the 10-metre line, and back come...
Well, move, Remy! Hey, line boys.
The
Hold it.
Wigan
Sam, come
Warriors,
on.
Ben Flower.
Tony, think about where you are. No, not you.
And then the ball is spun wide and reaches Liam Marshall.
What has been impressive for me, Bill, is the speed with which the Dragons have moved up off the try line quicker than normal. Whether they can maintain that for 80 minutes is a test for them, but they've certainly given themselves every chance, putting Wigan under massive pressure in this attacking phase.
Go.
Navarrete plays the ball back into the middle. Tony Clubb.
Line here, lads. Go for.
Tony Clubb plays that ball, and they're going for a short pass, finds Greenwood. Greenwood trying to wrestle his way to the line. He is denied by
Line with me, boys.
McAlorum. On the last now. Williams kicks cross field into the shadows.
Off Wigan.
It's come off
Still
Wigan,
5.
says the referee. It's with Luluai. Luluai, nice hands. Marshall kick ahead. That's going to be too strong, and respite at last for the Catalan Dragons, but they have soaked up some pressure.
And it will have taken some juice out of the tanks of these Catalan Dragons. They'll need a share in the workload now. Some of the back five getting involved, but defensively they've been on the money. Big Joe Greenwood, we've seen him countless times one-on-one get over the top of a half-back or a second rower in front of him, but it'll be a somewhat tired Catalan Dragons side. But with the conditions, the heat, you'd imagine that the Dragons players who train in it, live in it every day will be more acclimatised.
2-0, the Catalan Dragons lead. Just that Gigot penalty separating the two sides, and Mead with a good break. Mead makes the initial impact. Kenny Edwards.
Ben Garcia, yeah.
It's Garcia, you're right.
He's come onto that field. They need some try scorers, some men who can break lines, and Garcia can offer that. So can Whitley on this side.
The ball quickly on, but goes to ground. And Luluai pounces on it for Wigan.
The Dragons tried to catch and pass in the same motion, but the Warriors, as the Dragons have been doing, up quick and pressure applied.
Not sure we've seen who Ben Garcia's replaced, but
could it be Greg Bird who was off at that point?
There's no sign of Greg Bird at the moment.
Defender out wide of the right. It's a blow for them, isn't it? Even on one less organiser.
Gildart tackled on the halfway line. 3 tackles gone for Wigan this set. Looking to maintain a really impressive record against the Catalan Dragons, won the last 4. In fact, unbeaten in the last 10 against them. Greenwood tackled by Moa. Powell steady as she goes.
5, move, Remy!
Navarrete.
Go.
And now Luluai will hoist that kick into Tierney's territory. And the winger didn't go for that, went backwards, bobbed over the top to Greenwood, and it went forwards, I think.
Well, Joe Burgess scored Wigan's first try when they met a couple of months ago in the DW Stadium here. He chased the kick and he got over the top of Lewis Tierney. He attempts to do the same, but this time it's a tap back to his teammates. Can't find it, and that looks to me a forward pass from Williams.
I think they have had American football on the, not on this pitch, but in the adjoining stadium. They might have had it on this pitch because there was an NFL team in Barcelona.
Well, this team looked like they needed a timeout. There's a lot of the hands with their hands on knees, weren't there, for the Catalan Dragons then.
There's blood on face as well from David Mead.
Tony Ray talked about the energy battle, didn't he? And it means that you need your fair share of possession, you need an equal distribution. And so far, Wigan have held the ball, they've had all the pressure, and the Dragons have done this all game, working away from their own line.
Flower and Moa are having a really good ding-dong. I think Flower's ahead on points at the moment. Here is Samisoni Langi. Langi's pass finds Whitley.
Move down!
Sargentson with the tackle. Here is Samisoni Langi. If Greg Bird is off, he is having wretched luck this season. He's had, I think, 2 concussions that have ruled him out of games. And Gigot launches that kick. This time Marshall is underneath it, judged it well, and manages to keep it alive.
Good play by Wigan here now. Burgess can get to Gildart on the outside, not with Mead's speed.
You can see why Steve McNamara is so keen to, first of all, have David Mead back, and then to keep him in the centres.
Yeah, he's such a dangerous player, and he's, as we've said a number of times, he's one of the fastest on the field, and this open space will suit him. There's a knock on.
Yeah. And a serious knee injury here.
Celebrations.
Time is
Kenny
off.
Edwards spotted it.
Shot clock is not on.
You reckon?
Let's have a look.
Crumples down there. It's an awkward tackle, isn't it? I do always going to be okay.
Yeah, me too. I bumped into his brother James Greenwood just in the middle of his recovery. Oh dear, yeah. That looks terrible. He's holding on to the physio.
You know, the aggression though, and legitimate aggression from the Catalan Dragons. They might not have many creative players on the field, but that's no excuse for not firing in defence, which is exactly what they've done. They've risen to the occasion. They look like the Catalan Dragons that we all saw play the Challenge Cup last year. With that effort to get up, harass, put their opponents under pressure. See a serious knee injury, actual right knee problem here for Joe Greenwood. We're going to struggle this season without back rowers. They lost John Bateman, of course. He's played for the Canberra Raiders at the end of that season. And Liam Farrell, who I think is arguably one of Wigan's best players, almost a Mr. Invisible. He does so much of the cleaning up work, covering, tackling, carrying the ball. Without Farrell, they've done well to as many matches, I think, as they have so far. But Greenwood, I don't see him being able to play on here. This seems like a serious injury, Barrett.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, he's okay. And if he goes off and lets the physio have a look at it, he's able to come back on. They do have options on that bench, though. Sean O'Loughlin yet to be on the field for the Wigan Warriors, and Chris Hankinson, who's been signed from Swinton as a centre, but whenever I've seen him, I think his attributes are more suited to that back row.
So Greenwood's going to be helped off the field, well, from Barcelona to Liverpool, because next weekend it's Magic Weekend, and day one the matches begin at 1:55 with day two starting at 12:55. That's next Sunday, so big weekend of action from Anfield, and distressing action from the new camp in Barcelona. Never thought I'd be saying that. Anfield, new camp, rugby league, same sentence. Joe Greenwood, it's a patch of grass, and it's an unhappy patch of grass at the moment as he is helped from the field, and really do hope that that is not as serious as the anguish on his face seemed to suggest. Disruption, well, disruption for both sides, because there is obviously no Greg Bird out there.
Out, back on.
And that'll put extra responsibility onto Tony Gigot, who hands that pass on.
One, move, Willie! Wait here,
How
boys,
they'll reshuffle that back line,
go.
we'll wait and see. But as we said, Gigot involved more, and if you can get your best players with their hands on the ball a lot more, you have a better chance of winning.
Busquets is tackled 10 metres out. McIlorum picks up. Casti drives it in, still going Remy Casti, what he wouldn't give to score a try for his beloved club on this momentous occasion. Instead, McIlorum has gone for it, and McIlorum is over. Has he got the ball down? He has. Michael McIlorum pinches a try against the club he gave such distinguished service to. 242 appearances, 24 tries for Wigan. That's a try for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, Michael McIlorum back from injury and back to the aid of his side. He will lead from the front. He's got the intellect, he's got the aggression, and what he's able to do is grasp those opportunities. He knows that George Williams, his body's upright, his focus isn't on and isn't aware and ready for what Michael McIlorum is going to do, and he just puts that ball down. First try of the game, Catalan Dragons.
His first Super League try of the season, in actual fact, because he missed 9 games through injury, and he has graced the biggest stages: Wembley, Old Trafford, the International Arena, and now at the new camp he has got the Catalan Dragons try.
Cheers, Chris.
The first try of the game, and Gigot will attempt to improve.
Right, you ain't up, Chris, as you said.
Well, the Catalan fans were desperate, weren't they? They've got themselves here. They were never going to score a spectacular try with sweeping passing plays. Not with the side they've got out there. It was about effort and about being intelligent. They've probably lacked a threat behind the play of the ball. With McIlorum back in the side. He's there now, and he's converted the first chance. One invitation One try to McAlorum. Pass and go, and he goes hard with that low-level determination. Beneath his opponents, Wigan perhaps too high in a position to stop him. Villajar realises that we can go ahead against Wigan. It's the best possible way of beating them.
And if you're Wigan Warriors now at this point in time, knowing that one of the biggest threats is McAlorum, you've been making sure McAlorum, when it comes to the end of the game and they're tallying up his tackles, he's done 40, 50, 60, because they've sent so much traffic at the biggest threat.
One, move Tony!
Moa
Wait here, please, boys.
takes the ball, and then Clubb and Flower there to greet him.
Two, move Willie! Wait here, go.
And Gigot finds Ben Garcia. Garcia back in the side after 5 out. He's had his injury problems. This is only his 4th appearance of the season, so he's got a lot of ground to make up. There's another sloppy pass. It's picked up by Kenny Edwards.
Important you get a good set after you've scored points. Get to your kick.
Just noticing the black armbands the Wigan players are wearing, and that in honour of their former player Quentin Pongia, who of course has passed away recently, well, overnight.
Yes, very sad news.
At the age of 48.
No age. What an absolute warrior Quentin Pongia was.
And again, you see Wigan now looking to try and counter-attack, move the ball around. I think they think we're going to stretch our opponents, make them cover the whole width of this field. Move from side to side, big men. Play the ball here by Marshall.
I think Quentin Pongia played with Brian Carney back in the day.
He did, and I think he had a spell in France as well. Quentin Pongia
played for Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Legendary figure in New Zealand Rugby League, and such a shame. Cancer at the age of 48.
I played against some tough ones, Bill, and he'd be in the top 2, I'll tell you. Tougher than granite.
Meanwhile, Wigan in possession with Gildart, little chip into some good space, and there's a bit of standing and ball watching in that Barcelona penalty area.
Pretty poor play by Wigan though. Gildart, a try on your own, wasn't it? It was a solo effort. Nobody seemed interested in following his kick. Nobody seemed there wanting to receive the pass for a kick. Surprising that they've lost their shape, lost their idea at the end of that set.
Joe Bollicon now for the Wigan Warriors. He's another player that's having a stellar season, new at the club.
Joe, you're not square! Joe!
Has started plenty of matches. I think he's called it offside. Is he not square at Marcus? I'm sure
he heard him say, Joe, you're not square.
Yeah.
Tell Busquets, keep playing, Busquets, keep playing.
Been lucky that the referee hasn't penalised them before now.
Come on, boys. Fellas, let's get the ball going a bit quicker, can we? Come on.
Fellas, let's go get the ball going a bit quicker, says Ben Thaler.
Even he wants Catalan to play quicker. It's the Dragons who need a rest.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this first 24 minutes, oh dear me. Greg Bird. He's having some rough luck. That's him done for the game. So Catalan in this Barcelona-esque kit, in possession from the penalty. Jason Baitieri it is. McAlorum, scorer of the only try of the game so far. That's good defence from Wigan, and they get the ball back. And Hardacre.
That's his second mistake, Julian Busquets. Normally so reliable and consistent, carting the ball up for his side. The second time, under no pressure. I know it was in contact, but meat and drink for a player of Busquets' talent and ability.
Move, Julian!
McAlorum with the tackle on. Ben Flower, halfway line. And Hankinson now. Chris Hankinson then will get a good chunk of this game by the look of things. And now Wigan come to their right-hand edge. There's Sargentson. Sargentson ducks under the first challenge from Williami. It was still threatening. Oh, threatening up the middle. And Powell, if he'd had the courage of his convictions there, he did have some support. Couldn't get the ball away. On the last now, gone for the power play. Didn't come off. Maybe the opportunity went then.
Well, perhaps I suppose you've got to compliment. I think Catalan Dragons are working so hard here to close Wigan down, but they are gasping here now for energy and oxygen. Wigan want to play the game quicker. Catalan don't, but this will be a test here now, this next 14 minutes. Look at the ferocity here from Flower.
You could see that coming, couldn't you? The Wigan players defensively, well, they were in the sprint blocks, as they are on this occasion. Catalan Dragons need some territory. Not sure running into the teeth of the defensive Wigan Warriors will help the cause. Big Sam's on.
Cassiano will try and use his considerable physique to get Catalan Dragons upfield. There's the other extreme. Tierney's lost that ball. There was a Wigan hand in there. That is an almighty respite for the Catalan Dragons. The hand in, and they've got another 6.
I think it's Chris Hankinson tries to strip the ball, can't keep hold of it, and Lewis Tierney picks it up. Baitieri trying to take the challenge forward. If he can get outside those tight 6 defenders that the Warriors have got, they're very compressed, trying to hold and stop the big men of the Dragons players getting forward.
3, move down!
We've hardly mentioned Braden Williami as top try scorer for the Dragons so far.
Yeah, having a quietish game. Kenny Edwards
4,
hounded
move.
down. Good work from Sargentson. 4 tackles gone. Here is Matt Whitley, socks round his ankles. Elliot Whitehead-esque, what a player he is. Little kick ahead, good kick ahead, and Marshall has to bundle the ball over the dead ball line. Edwards greets a photographer.
Good work from Kenny Edwards. Multifaceted, multi-skilled player is Kenny Edwards, and he can sometimes be over-exuberant. We've watched him a time or two. He's just, as you say, getting to know some of the local media men. Repeat possession for the Catalan Dragons, and a chance to apply some pressure. We'll look back to those first 10-15 minutes where the Dragons were on their own line, defending 3 or 4 sets. Although it's took a bit of energy, they've hung in, and it's now their chance to apply.
What a kick.
Oh,
what a brilliant goal line drop right there. It's gone 70+ metres. Oh, the tackle from Isa. He's trying to get this Wigan team now excited and get the ball back here by forcing it free. Not so sure here now.
I'll tell you what, Jason Baitieri, though, is a tough nut.
Release, Joe. Go, mate, 2.
And he withstood the challenge. Sam Cassiano, good offload from him. Tierney will have to retreat and gather that ball. And Burgess will make sure that the former Wigan wingman can't make any progress. Here is Samisoni Langi.
I really like that, Sam Cassiano. He mixes his game up really well. Big charges and then soft little hands. Here he is on the ball.
Cassiano.
5, movement, George!
But Bullock is equal to the challenge.
Back here, George, go left.
Gigo's little kick. Marshall gathers and does well.
Did really well, Liam Marshall. Knew 3 defenders, Catalan defenders, were around him. He had his back to those defenders, just did enough. Zach Hardaker trying to work this ball away.
Go. Good listening, boys.
Seems to me that Catalan are just dictating things at the moment.
They've got that cup-like atmosphere, attitude, I should say, to their defence. Moving up quickly, it's simple. Few passes when they've got the ball. Sean O'Loughlin looking to pass it. It's an offload to the fullback. Look, keeping the ball alive, something Wigan want to do. Keep it moving their opponents around.
Tackle him.
Tautai trapped now.
Release Femi! 4.
Tautai wrestling for a few more yards on. Powell then slips into the tackle of Baitieri. That's the 5th. And the ball back to Hardaker, who thumps a kick in. Tierney watches it whiz past him.
He was looking for a penalty, Sam Powell. He jumped out, almost voluntary tackle into one of the Catalan defenders, and that's the reason Zach Hardaker ends up with it on last tackle. Wigan trying to pressure Dragons now.
What an afternoon this is. We've got this game, Catalan Dragons against Wigan in Barcelona. We've got Rugby League, Super League in London, of course. The Broncos, we hear, giving Wakefield another tough afternoon. Leading comfortably at Ealing Trailfinders. Not 90,000 capacity in Barcelona.
We've got Warrington and Hull FC as well. Oh, beautiful ball.
Cassiano to Tierney. Smuggle that one underneath his midriff. And Langi. Here is Casti.
5, move, Sean! Back here,
Wrestle to the ground. Half an hour gone. 5th tackle. They're running it. Cassiano. Oh, that was just too clever.
You're right, he holds that ball in one hand, and I think you said it a moment or two ago, Bill. You'd give the first quarter to Wigan. They applied a lot of pressure to the Dragons, but this last or second quarter of the match, Catalan Dragons trying everything. A nice offload into the path of Lewis Tierney, and then the next time he has the ball, Sam Cassiano, he's got a lot to offer. I'm sure that Catalan Dragons will want bigger stints out of him, get him fitter, and get more minutes out of him on a match day.
Wigan again trying to get some width to their game, trying to stretch this Catalan Dragon side as Sargentson goes on a good run, and they do get a quick play the ball, and now they go to the other side of the field, and Williams onto Gildart. The Gildart closed down. Good work from Tierney. The crowd like that on that side of the field. That's the fifth tackle. What's Luluai going to serve up with this kick? He's targeting Tony Gigot. Gigot did that so well.
A huge kick from Thomas Luluai. And to my knowledge, that's the first occasion we've had a deliberate kick for, must be 10 or 12 minutes. He's got his timing of his run way off there, Zach Hardaker. He's expecting, or he wants to hit Tony Gigot. The split second he catches that ball, but it was still in the air, some distance away from Tony Gigot.
He's a canny operator, is the Catalan fullback, almost as though he knew that was going to happen.
I don't think either side will look at this first 32 minutes and say we've settled into the game. It's, you know, on games like this, and it does have a final feel from it. You've got to focus on the process you start off the game with. Focus on the nuts and bolts of what you've been working on during the week, and not allow your mind and your emotions to be so erratic.
Here's Cassiano.
Sam, go on.
Now McAlorum, try scorer. Samisoni Langi's pass for David Mead, but Mead is well tackled by Gildart. But Catalan tackles in hand here. Cassiano's pass ricochets. Back to one, says the referee. 6 to go. They're going to pile on the pressure here. And here is Gigot. Gigot drifting across field, still going. Oh, and then squanders the opportunity. And Wigan and their supporters breathe an almighty sigh of relief.
That was a wild offload from Tony Gigot, who does have a maverick spirit. We'll love it when he gets it right, but his side had tackles in the bag. We'd already seen another valuable input from Sam Cassiano, meant that they had a few more tackles to play with. But Wigan making their way upfield. This is a to and fro, end-to-end game.
Well, they're withstanding the pressure now.
Look at the width they're trying to play with here, although Catalan's defence has been pretty impressive so far, all the way across left. We're going to forward pass to Burgess.
That was the view from the touchline. Burgess not so sure.
And they are working incredibly hard, the Dragons here, to have players in the right position. Tierney there, just one space outside him, but that final pass drifts forward.
You can see what he's doing, can't you? Oliver Gildart, he's looking, he's got his eyes right on Lewis Tierney, making sure he can't move off to the next attacker, which is Joe Burgess. That glorious scene there, Barcelona. And you're right, we talked about it a while ago. Liverpool, Man United, Barcelona, the platform and the occasions are there. Just got to, for me, it's not the right place to say, but we've just got to work harder to get more people watching these great games.
That ball is offloaded. Could have been costly, but Kenny Edwards was able to pounce on it. Here's Gigot. Here is Whitley now. Whitley. Last 5 minutes. Wigan appealing for something. Was that a knock-on from Whitley? Here is Jason Baitieri. Joe Greenwood off for Wigan. Greg Bird off for the Catalan Dragons. Neither of them looking as though they're going to be coming back. Langi back on the inside to Remy Casti, the Catalan Dragons captain, playing at loose forward once again for the side. Up the middle they come with the Gigot, and another offload and another one that doesn't stick, and it was forward as well.
Well, they have to take some risks, perhaps they're in front of goal. It's not like shooting from your own half, which his last offload probably was the equivalent to in football. Here he's attempted to keep it free. He knows here one more pass and Cassiano probably reaches over from that point. They're going to find it hard to score tries. Very few, it's mainly all runners that they've got at the moment. Very few passes for this Dragons this afternoon.
We've talked before the game, and you've heard lots of the players talking about how they've got to put on a show. Both teams are coming here not just to get the 2 points. Yes, that's the focus, but if they can do it and entertain the crowd. There was a player that entertained the crowd, Thomas Bosch. I recall that try he scored when he chipped the ball, caught it, chipped it again. An absolute wonderful try. And there's the opposite, a dejected Greg Bird sat, and it doesn't look like he's going to come back on this afternoon.
Move, Sam! Ready, boys, ready, go.
Greg Bird, it's a torn left bicep.
Move, Remy!
By the sound of things. That's your speciality, Barry.
It is.
And Greenwood is in the dressing room. And it's a knee injury, but this is Liam Marshall, and Marshall has got the legs. Marshall has got the try, and Wigan have scored right before the half-time hooter with a try from Liam Marshall, or has he got it down in the nick of time? Has he run out of space? I thought he got that down. Ben Thaler thinks so. Michael McAloran willing to argue the toss.
Well, they've tried for over half an hour to stretch their opponents, to outflank them, to outpace them.
And if it's not, I want you to check the challenge, okay? Right.
Well, they've checked quite a few things, I think, over this play, aren't they? The referee, again, not happy with Michael McAloran.
No, listen.
Well, we don't have to check the pace and speed of Liam Marshall. Really drops through the gears.
I'm going to sit down. Bob the whistle to my mouth, so I'll bring back.
Well, you can't check on the forward pass.
Right, end of story. You keep your opinions in your mouth shut.
Doesn't he? Does his foot at the sideline? No, he's clearly in field here.
I heard him say, we'll take the challenge.
Now, has he grounded the ball before he hits the dead ball line?
For me, he has, yeah. For me, he has.
I can understand it.
Is it the challenge from Tierney that he's...
For an 8-point possible try, penalty in the late tackle afterwards.
Is there a potential obstruction before Zach Hardacre gets it?
How many do you want?
Hey, I'm only trying to think what they're looking for. It's a great try for me. Play on.
The grounding, we'll just check on. I understand he's tried to get the ball much closer to the post because Zach Hardacre knows that points are going to be hard to come by today. Hardacre had encouraged him to keep running, get closer to the goal post, and this wheel will keep spinning until the Wigan fans realise they've scored their first points.
Wigan supporters see their sides go in for their first try, with Liam Marshall claiming his second Super League try of the season. And they've been trying to get the ball to their wingmen, to hit the wingmen, to get round the Catalan Dragons side all through this first half. And eventually, they've done it.
Right.
And Hardacre to level the scores as half-time approaches. That he does.
I think he's actually got off.
Well, there's Liam Marshall, the pace he's got again. Outstrips Tony Gigot along the flank. And just about gets it down in time.
The force with the Warriors. And Hardacre converting.
Well, just to show you that early penalty goal by Tony Gigot. The only difference between the two teams here, perhaps as we get to half-time. Very little time here now left. One more set for Wigan with Joe Bullock starting it off.
Beg your pardon, 8-6 the scoreline. It was always likely to be a lot closer than that March meeting, 42-0, when Joe Burgess scored the hat-trick.
Well, that was only 6-0 at half-time. Wigan's second half show just too strong, and that's what they're hoping again here now. Saw them in the cup, keeping the ball alive, and Hankinson now going that left side.
Chris Hankinson, who will get plenty of game time, you suspect, with Greenwood off. Still time in this first half as Talima Tautai spins away and then makes a few more metres before he is brought down.
4, ready, boys. Go.
Bullock, good strong run.
Beautiful pass.
5. Move!
That's the 5th tackle.
Go.
And Williams doing what he loves to do, stepping and running back across the field, looking for the gap. Bullock, but Edwards was there just as the ball reached Sam Powell, and Catalan Dragons will have it back. That is the turnover.
Go.
Well, they'll be quite content here if they can get to the hooter and still lead. Nervousness about the supporters here.
Boys. Go.
That was ominous, wasn't it, for the Catalan Dragons, the ease with which Wigan got round them there.
Yep, they're going to get to a rest, they're going to get to recover and listen to the messages from Steve McNamara. It's been a fantastic effort, having lost Greg Bird here. Ball wide to Tierney, but the hooter sounds and he'll take that tackle.
So, Catalan Dragons have their noses in front after a very, very tense first 40 minutes at the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona. And the Dragons desperate to make a mark at this iconic ground up against their first ever opponents in Super League. And they're just ahead at half-time. It promises to be a great second half. It's a great occasion.
Well, from the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona, join us next weekend when we will be at Anfield for Magic Weekend. Day 1 starts at 1:55 p.m. on Sky Sports Action. Day 2, 12:55 p.m. again on Sky Sports Arena for that one. Game 2 of Day 2 is Leeds against London, and we can bring you the latest scorelines from Ealing Trailfinders now. Remember, London beat Wakefield in the opening game of the season. They now remarkably lead 42 points to 12 and look like closing in on a fact that they can move off the bottom of the table with a sizable win against Trinity. Remarkable scoreline thus far. The Warrington Wolves have pulled themselves back into action against Hull FC. Jake Connor currently in the sin bin. Blake Austin has just crossed for his 15th try of the season. Hat nod, though, to Jordan Abdul in that London game. 4 tries in the first 40 minutes. Right, let's bring you the scoreline from the Nou Camp Stadium. If you're following us, you'll know it's 8 points to 6 in favour of the Wigan Warriors. Wigan hitting back with 3 minutes to go in that first half through a Liam Marshall try. First 2 scores went the way of the Catalan Dragons, Tony Ray, but they scored them while under severe pressure.
You're right, Wigan were hitting back because Catalans did own the opening part. It was a frustrated Wigan side, and they gave away a penalty, not surprisingly, early on. Catalan were dominating field position. What they were doing well in the opening stages, as we can see from McAlorum, is they were earning everything they were doing. They were working hard, they were racing up the line defensively, they were powering forward. They'd made a couple of errors, but they were accidental. They put themselves in a position where McAlorum could come up with a well-earned power play. For me, Wigan had come up, got themselves frustrated. They were playing right to left, as we said pre-game, but Catalan were ready. Wigan were getting frustrated. Catalan were handling it, have handled it all game. Then Catalan probably choked themselves a bit because they started to go and try and look for big plays and look for silly... They came up with some silly errors that were really putting themselves under pressure. What
Here's that right to left shift again you're talking about.
This is what they should have been doing. Just stay on game plan, stay comfortable, because Wigan were getting frustrated. But no, Catalan, and this man with the ball, Gigo, with Bird off, he has to be controlling the game. He went trying to look for the game, went searching for things, not earning it, what they were doing early. And they allowed Wigan to then, who woke up and said, hey, we won't go right to left, let's go left to right, and sure enough, they got him. Dan Sargent's looked more dangerous than anybody all game. And as soon as they went left to right, Catalan weren't ready, and they got caught out, and it was Catalan's fault. We saw those couple of errors. They enabled Wigan to have a little look at the game. Wigan regrouped, and the talent, as we can see, Marshall running away, the talent is so good, they'll jump on you if you do that. Now, Catalan with game control had real dominance there. They probably had another try in it themselves, but they let themselves down a little bit in the back end of it.
Barry McDermott, your dulcet tones took us through that first 40 minutes. It's an important point that Tony makes. There's a couple of incidents with Gigo in particular underneath the post where had he shown a little bit more composure and a little bit more recognition of how little possession they've had in the game, it may have been a better option to hold on to the ball and take the tackle.
They're a very emotional side, aren't they, the Catalan Dragons? And I'm watching this game, and they've already gone into the game with Greg Bird and Sammy Shaw and Lange. Lange can play in the centre. He's as big as a forward, and Greg Bird, of course, is a forward full stop. So they've gone down that power route For me, I'm looking at Willie Army and David Mead, who are the fastest and biggest threat that the Catalan Dragons have got. And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't they getting involved and looking for work? But for the Catalan Dragons, Sam Cassiano always makes a difference when he gets onto the field. He's too big to handle when he powers forward, but he's got those nice little touches. There was some wonderful footage there. He was out in the centres, which he finds himself a lot. All he had to do was simply pass that ball on because the winger had come in, but he chose to go over the top, bit too fancy, and went over the sideline. OK, just those injury updates again. Bill Arthur would have brought you them. Greg Bird will not take any further part in this game, torn bicep. We are still awaiting news on Joe Green, who's taken off the field for an assessment on a knee injury. Richard Graves, who was at the Nou Camp Stadium for us, will bring us the latest on that. OK, let's go back to Tony Ray to tell us how he thinks this second half will unfold. Tony.
Wigan have now had a good look at the game. They'll regroup. They weren't handling the occasion. They weren't dominating. I think Wigan should go forward with it. But Tony Gigo can change our mind on that if he can control the game.
If he can control the game, if he can control himself. Very big ifs for the Catalan Dragons. They are leading by 8 points to 6 at the Nou Camp Stadium in a magnificent day for Super League. The Super League champions Wigan have dragged themselves back into the game and just 2 points behind, courtesy of that late Liam Marshall try. Bill Arthur is standing by to take you through the second half, the other side of this break. It's been nearly 4 years since the Catalan Dragons have beaten the Wigan Warriors. 10 matches. They are halfway there. They've got a 2-point half-time lead. Can they hold on and clinch a long overdue victory in the iconic surroundings of the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona? Steve McNamara and his sides about to enter the fray for the second 40 minutes. Tony Ray, they have a 2-point half-time lead. It is a fragile lead, is probably the best way you could describe it.
Yeah, there's a lot up against them there. The makeup of their team's difficult. They're going to have to play a really strong power game. They're going to have a lot of these forwards coming out. Sam Cassiano there with the big beard. He's going to be pivotal to them as a pivot almost, because he'll be able to use his skills, charge forward, use his skills. This is going to be a very, very interesting contest with so much riding on it. They look calm.
What do you do as a coach when you lose perhaps the steadiest hand on the tiller in Greg Bird on the field? So you're left with Samisoni Lang, you're left with Michael McAlorum in the key, and Tony Gigo in the key positions. How do you impart leadership on that side in those times?
Role clarity. This man there, and that's happening right there in front of our eyes. Well, then Sam Tompkins talking to Gigo about his role, what he has to do. Listen, don't go looking for the offloads. Don't go looking for your running game. Let the boys run. Support and kick. Support and kick. If he can just do those basics as the game goes through, wait for an opportunity, maybe pounce when they've earned the right, be almost like a jockey on the back of them, get the big fellas running, encourage them. But he has to be clear on his role. Now, he didn't go into the game clear on his role because the other guys, well, he probably wasn't aware, such as the competitor of this man, that the makeup of the team was changing in front of him. But McAlorum's key, he can own the ruck. He can just sit at dummy half and steer his forward, a couple of little runs when he can, drive them forward defensively, let Cassiano, these guys play with the ball, let them keep in their rear, stay in control, then Gigo kicks in.
Sam Cassiano, very influential in the first 40 minutes. In their 42-0 defeat at the DW Stadium, he became a liability on the field. And when it's going good for Sam Cassiano, it looks very good. The Wigan Warriors, you would imagine, will be hoped to turn the screw and turn it around and point him out as a weakness, really, for the Catalan Dragons. This is him at his very best.
You're right, and defensively, he's looking fitter. It's one thing. It's not the same Sam Cassiano that played in that game. He's more conditioned, ready for the game. I would say emotionally, he's more attached to the team. He hadn't been there that long. He's not long off the plane. You can see now he cares. He's out there, which makes you look at the game, makes you feel for the game, makes you trust the runners around you, make you listen to the calls inside the game. So he's looking different. He will be tired not too long away. And then it'll be Sam Moa and the power game coming forward.
Strap yourselves in. The second half is on the way. Bill Arthur standing by to take us through it from the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona. Enjoy now. Catalan Dragons and Wigan Warriors. Bill.
The game tantalisingly poised as Tony Gigo gets it underway. 8-6 the Dragons lead, looking to avenge that 42-0 hammering at the DW in March. Wigan, in fact, have won their last 10 against the Catalan Dragons. The last time Catalan won against Wigan was in May 2015 in Perpignan, when they beat Wigan 58-16, and Zeb Tyre and Tony Gigot got hat-tricks. I don't think we're going to get a repeat of that sort of scoreline here in this real cat and mouse game at the new camp in Barcelona. The sun just obscured by the clouds at the moment as Luluai puts the kick in and nonchalantly taken over his head by PNG international David Mead.
Release Chris! Play ball.
Excellent performer this season for the Catalan Dragons.
Go this one, T.
Here is
Two. Move!
Samisoni Langi.
Go. Gone really crackly.
And the Catalan supporters.
Three. Movement!
Giving their side a bit of a G up as Macilorum. Interesting to see him sharing a word or two with Liam Farrell as the teams emerged for the second half. What a buzz it must be to walk down the corridors here in the footpath, the footsteps of the likes of Messi and the Barcelona greats on the last. And it's Samisoni Langi who hoists that kick and then sets off after it to challenge Hardacre. Hardacre it is who comes up with it, and Hardacre who comes away with it.
Well, a good counter-attack from Zach Hardacre. It was high enough, and Samisoni Langi, chasing his own kick, does everything he can, but Zach Hardacre, quality player under high balls, and it's a good return on the front foot, Wigan.
And here is Bullock now. Wigan ending the first half in good shape, looking the stronger of the two sides, and maybe that's the word from their coach Adrian Lamb. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's keep moving this Catalan Dragons side around, using the width of this big new camp pitch. At the moment, they're in the middle of it. As Bullock plays the ball, Powell. Luluai's kick is miscued. Little dribble ahead. And it's a goal line dropout.
Oh, well, there's a lesson in playing to the whistle there. It looked like it had all gone wrong when Thomas Luluai attempts to kick this ball. It just glances the side of his foot, and Chris Hankinson, I think it is, stays in the picture, keeps going, and eventually Lewis Tini kicks it over the sideline, the back line.
It was more the football skills they needed, wasn't it, there to keep it in play. Eventually Tini got it out, goal line dropout. We're getting in the attack. They want to play quickly. We've seen Joe Bullock have 4 runs already inside the first 4 minutes. He's been tasked by the coach here to get his team onto the front foot.
Gigot then sets that one off, not the best. Willie Isa returns it. Catalan Dragons 5th in the table going into this game. Can go up to 3rd. Wigan down in 8th, but only 4 points off a top 5 place. And such tension at the bottom of the table as well. London Broncos doing a job on Wakefield. Here is Sean O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin has lost that ball.
Scrum down. Then the ball, it's stolen. It's stolen, it's scrum down, Wigan ball.
And it's stripped, and the ball is knocked on, goes forward in the attempt of Catalan Dragons with Sean O'Loughlin, another dangerous player for Wigan Warriors. It's Matt Whitley.
If the referee shouts it's stolen, though, I'm a bit confused. Is that not a penalty? It must be
Surely.
one-on-one.
I believe that there's more than one player. It's Matt Whitley, and I think it's Michael Macilorum that's thereabouts, but
it was 3-on-1 eventually.
We're going to end up with the ball in good position. They've had a few goals at this line.
Oh, Williams is having another go.
Move, Tony!
And it needed a good tackle from Tony Gigot to stop him.
Go. That's fine.
And Macilorum shot off the line and unbelievably quickly there to tackle Sam Powell. Now Bullock on the charge.
Move, Tony, goal line!
Cassiano manages to turn him round, so he's facing the wrong way. 3 tackles gone into the middle of the field. Oh, Cassiano, another bell ringer from him. Big tackle on Williams.
Tony!
So they've managed to hold them out so far, but they might not be able to hold them out now because Marshall is going to be in for a second. He's hurt his shoulder. Has he got that ball down in time, though?
Tackle 4.
Well, that's what Ben Thaler wants to look at.
Just checking
He's happy with it, but he wants to use the video ref. An acrobatic finish over on the right-hand side from Liam Marshall. He's got Fuad Yaha in his sights. He jumps early, gets the ball out
His foot's already on the sideline, Barry, on the angle I saw there. I would have disallowed that with one view.
Touch judge doesn't think so.
No, well, when I watched it live...
That one we can't see from that angle. I think his foot's on the line.
When I watched it live, I thought it was OK. This is the one, Phil. The touch judge is there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Disallowed try. Fuad Yaha just about does enough.
Touch judge, just unsighted perhaps. And Marshall is denied a second try in this game that would have put Wigan in front, but again, that's the way ahead for Wigan.
Well, they want to break this Catalan team by taking them to stretching point. They've stretched them across there, but Yaha does really well there.
Wait there, boys. Wait there, guys.
They're going to get that for at least another 30+ minutes.
Same side, lads. OK, let's bind. Shot clock off.
Since there's not going to be much let up from Wigan.
You also get the feeling here that the Catalan Dragons need some points. They're not going to win this game 8-6, in my view. The penalty here helps. As you go, kicks it up towards the halfway line. They're going to need to create some points somehow. Maybe Cassiano could be the key. Kenny Williams, obviously a dangerous player, and this man, Matt Whitley, he finds his way over the try line very often.
Move, Willie!
A brilliant time for him to do it in this second half.
It is very important shape in rugby league, keeping everybody in the right positions, but Willie Army, David Mead, players with pace and lethal try-scoring instincts. If they can follow some of those big men, like Cassiano, that got an offload, I feel certain there'd be some rewards for them.
There is Cassiano, here is Michael McAlorum. Gigo, Whitley. Four tackles gone as Talima Tautai stops Whitley's progress. It's with Samisoni Langi.
Good hands, he had to go down low for that ball.
5.
That's the 5th.
Go line, Joe. Go.
McAlorum, quick hands over the top, and good defence. The ball back in field and out of play eventually. Good defence. Marshall denied at the other end of the field. Well, he was defending there and did a good job.
Well, yeah, man-on-man tackle here from Marshall. Great battle between these two wingers.
Come on, back here.
Little and large contest. No. It's even at this stage here now. Ball goes over the top and he cuts him in two with that tackle that takes him over the sideline.
Go.
Head in the hands for the Catalan chairman.
Surrender!
Go on, Bill, go on.
No,
You've not said it yet.
1. Wait, boys.
It's probably worse than it would be in Catalan. O'Loughlin has gone without that. Sean O'Loughlin, the only survivor of the first meeting between the two sides. Mead might profit. Referee's not going to award this without reference to the video ref. Hardacre wondering, like many people are, how many people are involved in the tackle, but Ben Thaler reckons it's a try. David Mead and the Catalan crowd reckon it's a try.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? Follow Cassiano. Those those quicker players. Here's the strip. Cassiano and Benjamin Garcia involved in that tackle. The ball comes loose. Cassiano holding that ball out in one hand. They can only be looking for a knock-on here.
Looks as though Sean O'Loughlin, who I was saying played in the first ever game between these two sides in 2006 at the Aimé Giral in Perpignan when Catalan won on a historic night. Still going, it just looks as though that ball's been dropped.
The trouble is, you see both of them. The fact that they're going to the ground, it means that they're happy enough with it, but we've seen them given either way. David Mead scores the second try for the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, Chris Kendall, the video ref, looking at the grounding, which suggests that this is going to say try for the Catalan Dragons. First points of the second half.
What's an important try? They were never going to come up with the miracle plays, but they've managed to force an error. They've ridden along. The referees backed them with that decision, and Mead scores. Importantly, he scores close to the goalpost. This will be 6 points, not the 4, and will take them to that significant 8-point lead here. It's unlikely we're going to see that many points in the game. Every single one counts, and Tony Gigo knows that here now as he lines up this conversion attempt.
Gigo's had a frustrating afternoon so far.
Right, read up Chris has said.
A lot of his trickery hasn't come off.
Keep the focus.
But his goal kicking could prove crucial if it is a tight contest. Gently does it. And the Catalan Dragons with David Mead, who has shown his worth in this game.
It does look like the ball comes free, and that's brilliant play. And the awareness, Barry mentioned David Mead. He's one of the players, they've lacked try scorers in recent times. They need somebody who can get over the line on a regular basis. Mead at his best can do that. And he's done it here now to give them that 8-point advantage.
He got 2 tries in the cup win over Doncaster last time out. The big cup win that cost the Catalan Dragons the services of... bullock is high on Remy Casti. Casti just doesn't bat an eyelid, does he?
Same action every week for Remy Casti, isn't it? He runs hard, runs well above his weight. And having watched Catalan Dragons the number of times you and I have, Bill, we've seen that action. He gets up, shakes his head and carries the next ball forward.
What did you say?
14-6.
Go.
Catalan lead.
One move, Chris!
A penalty that immediately allows Catalan to resume on the halfway line. Here is Benjamin Garcia. And Garcia
Time off, tackle 2.
Is just discomfited by that tackle. Ben Thaler's stopped the clock.
And this is, again, the consequence of reversing into contact. You're in an awkward position. And the game just halts for a second. You don't for 1 minute think there's much wrong with him.
Chris is up if it's helped you.
We'll watch it.
The ball.
Reverses, ends up, the big man ends up in an awkward position, putting all his weight on the shoulders.
I think play's going to continue.
Yeah.
After we've seen the replay from the host broadcaster. Catalan still in possession. 3 tackles gone.
Don't hold him in, Jason. 3.
And here is Gigo.
4.
Garcia.
Move! Ready, boys.
Immediately back into the thick of things, and Cassiano. That pass was... Oh, and Cassiano, I think, has been hit late. Well, that is a reckless thing to do. One way or another, it's a
reckless for your health, I think, and your well-being. The big man who takes it into contact. We've mentioned the fact that Greg Bird missing after only a few moments of this match. Samison and Lange. They're without ball players, and it looks like Sam Cassiano has taken over that responsibility, and is it Sean O'Loughlin who just collects the big man as he's passing that ball?
We're going to stop and kick a goal here, aren't they, with half an hour to go. They take as much fluid, they'll take as much time as they possibly can here. They want to slow the game down. Wigan need to speed it up.
So Gigo will line this one up. Action in Barcelona, of course, summer bash going on in Blackpool, and got to say good luck to the teams taking part in the first of 4 summer rugby league development festivals, which are taking place tomorrow. The first of them, it's at the North East Worcestershire Ravens Club in the Midlands, and teams like the Bassetlaw Bulldogs, the Telford Raiders among those involved. Youngsters from the Midlands taking part in that Summer Rugby League Development Festival, and hope they have a great day. Catalan hoping for a great day in Barcelona.
Yeah, well done to all concerned. And Lancashire under-19s levelled up the series with a victory over Yorkshire. So all is well in the world of rugby league.
Incredible. The geographic range of the game. Redditch,
and here
Barcelona.
We are, Barcelona.
And here is Williami. Where has David Williami been? Because Braden Williami is on the run, and it needed a good tackle from Zach Hardacre. And Fuad Yaha, Williami just suddenly burst into life there. He's had a quiet game,
Clever play by Hardaker though on that one. He made sure that Yaha had to go down that left-hand side.
3. Mooty!
Got time for his teammates to get back. They've recovered Wigan. They've everybody set.
Cassiano now.
Good tackle by Powell. What a brave effort.
And Hankinson up top makes sure that the big forward can't offload. McIlorum's pass. Lange will stretch out. And Samisoni Lange has got another try for the Catalan Dragons. And the flag of Catalunya, the Dragons, is flying high at the Nou Camp Stadium. And Samisoni Lange has extended their lead. Quick-fire tries, first from Mead and now from Samisoni Lange, his 4th in Super League this season.
Well, lethal from the Catalan Dragons after that wonderful break over on the left side from Braden Williami, and doesn't he show an awareness and an ability to wriggle, writhe and make sure that ball is underneath him. You can see Sean O'Loughlin's reaction. He knows how important that try is, but Braden Williami over on the left side, David Mead over on the right side. They are the key to the victory, as well as that man Sam Cassiano having an absolute ball. A few words of encouragement from Rob Parker, the physio he knows, and would have had an instruction from Steve McNamara: keep talking to the big man. The more we can have him out there, the more of a threat we are. Look at that beautiful sight there. And I know from speaking to a few people within the world of rugby league, they've gone and taken the opportunity to go to this fixture, and they've purchased the Catalan Dragons memorabilia and souvenirs, and they are representing the Dragons this afternoon.
When it comes down to it, it's 2 Super League points that are at stake, and Gigo's kick for the first time this afternoon has missed the target. Thomas Bosk has a word.
Well, this is the difference, I think. They've got a number 9 who now the more the team have confidence in. He invites them onto the ball in those great attacking positions. He scored one in the first half. McIlorum set one up here in the second. The referee doesn't need the video ref on this occasion. No assistance needed. It's Wigan who need all the help they can get here now. 14 points behind.
Yeah, but Catalan aren't home and dry yet, and that one could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. We know that Catalan Dragons, they can self-implode, can't they?
Well, they've done it against Wigan, haven't they? A few years ago on their home ground, they led significantly in the second half and fell apart. But you don't get the sense that that's going to happen here with the emotion inside this stadium.
Here's a question for you, Phil. What do Wigan need to do to get themselves back into this game here?
Move, Chris!
They could do some ball, couldn't they? And then they need some punch in the middle. This middle part of the field has all been won by the home team. Casti and Co. are the dominant team, and the kick here now gains them some valuable ground.
It's from McIlorum, but it's into the arms of Hardaker, and a puff of the cheeks, and the Wigan fullback sets off to return the ball, and it's come loose and been picked up by David Mead, and Mead gives it to Cassiano.
I'm pretty sure he was involved in that kick chase then. He's got the Midas touch at the minute. Slamming Sam.
Yeah, Hardaker somehow lost that ball, and look where it's put Wigan. Now they've got to defend. Ben Garcia head rocks back in that tackle, but he quickly plays the ball. McIlorum, Cassiano, hands on his knees, and Gigo bursting through, couldn't quite get past a good tackle from Talima Tautai. Cassiano has recovered to put the ball down under the posts and get another Catalan Dragons try. 1 minute, he's gasping for breath. The next one, he's knocking the stuffing out of the Wigan Warriors. He's not the only one whose head will be hurting today, that's for sure.
Is it joy and relief, or is it pain up top? It's certainly here now again. The pass from Batieri, that close range run just gets him close enough. In fact, it's the kick, isn't it? He's trying to prevent the grounding, which could have been penalised. It's irrelevant. This looks like a Challenge Cup performance from 2018. It's got all the hallmarks of it, and what the Dragons need to do is find a way of producing the cup performances in league matches, which is what they're doing here on this special stage in northern Spain. A lot of flag waving here. All the emotion been turned in a positive way for the French team to turn over that scoreboard and get it ticking, well, almost emphatically now in their favour.
About a minute, Tony.
They have dominated this second half so far, and Wigan desperate to try and wrest control of the game back from the hosts, who are in a commanding position at the moment. And that man, who I think is getting a breather by the look of things, is largely been the operative word responsible for them being in this position.
He has been, and we often hear Brian Carney use the term sledgehammer and scalpel. Well, he's been both at the same time this afternoon. He's been able to power his way through and bust open defences as he did when he scored that try. And he's had some deft little short passes, offloads. I won't be surprised if he gets another little stint back on the field later on in this game.
Williame underneath that one. Mikel Simon is the man who's come on in place of Sam Cassiano. Sam Moa is on there as well. So Steve McNamara keeping the pressure on in the shape of the big units. Like Sam Moa, like Mikel Simon. Wigan have got to try and get the ball back and do what they did towards the end of the first half, which was give Catalan the runaround, but there's no sign of that happening at the moment, and the longer it goes, the more confident Catalan are going to be in their ability out wide as McIlaurin puts the kick in, and just too strong.
Michael McIlaurin being one of those kick options. He's come in and made a massive impact on the game.
They're going to need some help here. They've got two players down of the central winger clashed heads. Sargentson, Marshall. Sargenson's the one here now who seems to have perhaps split the top part of his head.
Look at the blood dripping down Sargenson's forehead.
This is when you're under pressure. Just over 20 minutes to go. 20 points behind. Players needing treatment here. Well, it's Powell and Sargentson, I'd say. Collide as they attempt to bring Whitley down. You know, Catalan can only lose it from here. They've got complete control in all areas. The crowd, the scoreboard, the physio department. Wigan are in trouble.
He'll be a loss for Wigan. Sam Powell plays at 9, plays at 7. Does a mountain of work in defence. But as we say so often this season with Wigan, George Williams, given the time and space, he's a player that can create something. He can also create an opportunity for himself and finish it. And Zach Hardacre, who's had a lot of work to do in this second half,
he's staying on. Have we got somebody on?
Particularly in defence. Final quarter coming up.
Let him get off first, lad.
We saw last night, didn't we, Salford versus St Helens. The game is never over until it's over.
Well, Wigan need a massive momentum swing in this, and it can happen in a variety of ways. They need a player to come up with something. The spark needs to get Wigan back onto the front foot. Toe-tie past the Navarrete, Flower.
Ben Flowers certainly gave Wigan a bit of impetus in the first 40 minutes. Can he and others around him in the Wigan side get control back from the Catalan Dragon side? Just hearing that London-Wakefield, 76 points, 42-34 the final score that. So London, second time this season, have beaten Wakefield, and Hull, Warrington obviously suffering a cup success hangover because they've gone down to Hull FC 1912.
Well, that was a very demanding game for both Wigan and Warrington last week. Maybe some reason why both haven't peaked again a week later, 7 days later.
And then they've got to go to Liverpool, and another big occasion, which playing at Anfield's going to be a big emotional experience, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen the drain and the toll it's taken on these players this afternoon at Barcelona. Different, but very similar.
Day 2 on Sunday, 12:55 for that. Day 1, 1:55. So yeah, And Kenny Edwards. Oh, look at this from Kenny Edwards. What a great run it is from Kenny Edwards. And then for Gigot. Gigot going for the post, held up just short. Fouad Yaha waiting to pounce. He won't get through there.
He's never going to score that. The most ambitious attempt in the world.
McIlorum might have done. He might have burrowed his way through, but Fouad Yaha, not a chance.
He stood up before he had a goal.
Samisoni Langi, for a moment it looked as though Gigot might be able to find a way through. They might not be done here because the ball is kept alive. Spun wide now, and they do have the number. Whoa! That's Kenny Edwards, who his feet just shot from underneath him, and he is hobbling now. They go for 1 point, and Gigot gets his 4th drop goal of this Super League season.
Well, there is an element of composure from one of the most dangerous players on the field. A lovely break from Catalan Dragons and Kenny Edwards. I'll tell you what, you can't blink with that player, can you? He's such an exciting talent, Kenny Edwards, when he gets it right. He makes a break, gets 40 metres downfield and then falls over flat on the floor when nobody's around him.
Tony Gigot, cool head, the 2018 Lance Todd Trophy winner.
Okay.
And that drop goal, as I said, his 4th of the season, could be ultimately very important, but they might not need to rely on that because Samisoni Langi has broken away. That ball, though, has come up for Gildarts. And referee Ben Thaler, I think, says that's Catalan head and feet, does he?
Everything going now for the Catalan Dragons. We're going to attempt to contest the ball. Joe Burgess, it goes over his head. And then the confidence now on which the home team, with a 21-point advantage, you can keep the ball alive. I think every one of them who went to bed last night dreaming of scoring at the new camp.
Yeah, you
wants
can
to
see them
fulfill that
excited.
dream here now, doesn't it?
You can see them excited now, the Catalan players, but you can also read the body language of these Wigan players. They've gone short in an attempt to regain and regather the ball, but they're absolutely exhausted, the Wigan players now.
Wigan fans have gone there in big numbers, and the day doesn't look as though it's going to pan out on the pitch as they'd hoped, but why let the game stand in the way of a big weekend? I'm sure that might be the philosophy of 1 or 2 people.
Well, the Dragons have got the video referee to thank, haven't they? Otherwise, that Liam Marshall tried to start 45 minutes into this game. This allowed David Mead to score 2 minutes later, and it's been one-way traffic since then, but the touch judge, I think he was happy to reward it.
Here's Langi. Gigot determined to make his mark on this game in terms of try scoring. Langi already has.
Still got it. 4.
Rolling forward, 4 tackles gone. Ben Garcia. Here's Sam Moa. Moa's held up.
5, boys.
Just short of the try line. Will McIlorum try once again? No, it's back to Tony Gigot. Little grubber kick from Gigot. Baitieri chasing. They'll get the ball back. But there was nobody quite with the pace to capitalise on that kick, as there would have been maybe if Matty Smith had been out there.
It was an exquisite kick, though, wasn't it? He runs laterally. Tony Gigot draws the defenders forward.
Sam Tompkins would have loved that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Baitieri, stalwart, such a good contributor to this club on and off the field. Really embraced. He's born in Australia, born in France, raised in Australia.
Keep going,
really,
boys. Keep going,
for me, encapsulates this club.
Go, mate. Now.
Here's Mikel Simon, his old club Wakefield.
Two.
Big comeback from them against London, but not enough. Langi.
Nice ball movement here now with that advantage. And Mead again, looking for one of his teammates.
But it's back with Kenny Edwards. Now here is Mikel Simon. I think we're back where we started, actually.
Passing it around like Barcelona, though, now, aren't they? They really are having the fun with this possession in great field position.
McIlorum. Here is Kenny Edwards again. Edwards, lovely ball to Braden Williami, but Wigan do well to stop him just short of the try line. Catalan really putting on the pressure. The kick comes in from McIlorum and Wigan come up with it. Catalan appear for the knock-on, but nothing doing. And it was good work ultimately from Tony Clubb Now then, Gildart, desperate to get some space. Burgess likewise.
A big attempted tackle from Sam Moore comes in. He tries to hold Joe Burgess. Joe Burgess, I think, scored 3 tries when the sides met, and it was 42-0 at the DW Stadium. So players and teams, when you've been on the other end of a scoreline like that, there's no point, and not at any point will they start to feel sorry for this Wigan side, as tired as they are. There will be a weight of possession in the favour of the Cherry and White club.
First bit of possession as Hankinson and Garcia have a little tete-a-tete in back play. 27-6. For all that hammering after Cassiano's try, it was just the Gigot drop goal. Is there a glimmer of hope still for the Wigan Warriors? Whoa! Willie Isa looked over his shoulder to see what was coming and rode the challenge. Hardacre, Luluai, O'Loughlin in the middle of the field. Williams bounces away from Mead. Mead shepherds him across the field. Across the field they go to Sarginson. Repaired.
That's wonderful defence there. It was a little bit scrambled, but at the key point at the right time. Just look at that defensive line of the Catalan Dragons. That energy battle is well in favour of the Catalan Dragons players and team.
Club plays the ball. They're not out of this yet. That ball's gone forward though. Hardacre. And then he says something, I think, pretty clear, that he didn't agree with the referee's interpretation of that particular situation.
Well, every team needs a reason, an emotional spark, and a cause to get up for. I think here now, this is amazing what this could do for the Catalan Dragons here this year. This is by far the best I've seen, the most interested, the most enthusiastic. They'll go up the league table to 3rd position here with this win, which looks as though they're getting there with less than 15 minutes to go. Going there seems to be a masterstroke. Perhaps an element of good luck in bumping into the Barcelona president at the right time, being in the right place, and having that Challenge Cup in the trophy cabinet has given them an opportunity now. They can play with this attitude, the aggression in defence, the willingness to work for one another.
Come on, boys, go.
Catalan meet Wakefield at Magic, the first game in actual fact on Saturday at Anfield.
Go.
Wigan round things off on the Sunday evening with the game against the Warrington Wolves.
Ready, Sean, 4. Go, mate.
Saturday evening, that one is, beg your pardon.
Standard score.
Are there more points coming from this Catalan side?
Movement, Oliver!
Ben Garcia, that's the 5th tackle. Gigot kicks into Marshall's corner, and it's out on the full.
Come on and turn over.
He was trying to put it on the head of Liam Marshall. And Lewis Tierney chasing hard. Sorry, it was Joe Burgess, not Liam Marshall. Joe Burgess and Lewis Tierney. That was a mistimed skewed kick.
Keep coming, Michael.
And there's a, I think it's Dan Sarginson, because there's more blood. And the Mexican wave in Barcelona. The Catalan Dragon supporters in cheerful moods, as well they might be, with the full-time hooter now. It's 13 minutes away, their side leading 27 points to 6.
Ready. Tony!
Well, it's all about enjoying yourself when you go to watch a game. I don't know whether the Wigan fans are enjoying it that much, but the ones from Barcelona and the French Rugby League fans who've made the effort to go there, it clearly looks to me like every single one of them's had some fun.
I'm sure 1 or 2 Wigan fans will do as well.
I would say so, yes. They'd have had to save the pennies up to buy a beer on last Ramblas, but I'm sure they'll get stuck in.
Oh, Lange's got the ball away here, Busquets!
And back to Lange, and Lange's passes to nobody, and Wigan will escape, and Gildart, now he has got the chance. Gildart trying to leave Tierney for dead, but Tierney just manages to bring him down. Then Tierney is down, Gildart's in anguish. It's been an exhausting game. It's a big pitch. There's been a lot of this lush green pitch covered this green pitch that's been worked on by the Barcelona ground staff and the UK Institute of Groundsmanship. Jason Booth and co.
Yes, we have to thank Jason Booth for the information before the game, and a lot of work has gone in on and off the field to make this the spectacle that it is. And those offloads, Busquets to Sammy Lange, and the last one just goes on the floor. But more worrying for Wigan fans is when he gets the ball and he's trying to make as many metres up the field. Oliver Gildart ends up awkwardly going into a collision.
Head knock for Tierney though.
Yeah, another Wigan, Lewis Tierney in the Catalan Dragons colours.
Wait there. Oh, wait there.
Meanwhile, attendance is now official, 31,555.
Excellent, excellent.
Go. And that does exceed the record for a weekly round figure in Super League, set in 2005 with a Good Friday game between Wigan and Saints of 25,000 in the weekly round, that is.
That's a terrific effort from both sets of fans, and as I said, others, neutrals who've gone and just got involved in the festival. That's a good start for us, that, Bill. We'll try and keep it annual, and we'll try and beat it year on year.
Good place to spend your birthday, even if it is as a Wigan supporter. That ball is bobbed up for David Mead, and Mead is going to wrap this one up with his second try of the game. Salutes the crowd, and the second half has belonged to the Catalan Dragons. And David Mead, the star from Papua New Guinea, is a star in Barcelona for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, sport for me is supposed to inspire people, and I'm sure this will do this for many young players wanting to be like David Mead in 10, 20 years' time. Who could have ever dreamt as a young boy playing around with a rugby ball on a field, kicking it around with his mates, that he'd one day be running in at the end of the Nou Camp Stadium with his finger in the air, celebrating the crowd as they put 6 more points on the scoreboard and enjoy what will be a wonderful win here in round 15.
It is very reminiscent of that first game back in 2006. And the Catalan Dragons played the Wigan Warriors in their opening fixture. 38 points to 30. That game finished up. I don't think we're going to get the same scoreline, but it has the same feel. Celebration, justification for bringing this game. 31,500 people is justification enough, but a top-class performance from the Catalan Dragons.
And right in front of the post, it should be 2 more points for Tony Gigot. It certainly is. And what a day it has been for the Catalan club.
Well, Wigan, you can see what they're trying to do. George Williams throws that ball into the path of Chris Hankinson. He can't keep hold of the ball, and that's out and out pace. That Mead and Williami really stepped forward in this second half, and Bernard Gouache, he's giving everybody a wave.
Well, we had a minute's applause in honour of his late brother Bruno, former UTC and Trey's a Catalan player who passed away recently, and the best thing these players could do was to come up with a performance worthy of a fellow player, because that's what Bruno Gouache was, and they've ultimately come up with that. 8-6 it was at half-time, though. Wigan very much in the hunt, but Catalan have dominated this second half.
My word, they have. They've really stepped it up. And Bernard Gouache, when he went for that famous lunch with Barcelona, he was asked, should we speak French or should we speak Spanish? He said, let's speak Catalonian, and I think that went a long way. So the story goes, that went a long way to this fixture taking place. The two clubs, the two organisations trading ideas, and let's hope the game in this part of the world, as well as France, let's not forget France, French Rugby League in this particular occasion, go from strength to strength.
It's not all golden for French Rugby League today, because Toulouse, I think, have been well and truly beaten by Toronto Wolfpack in the Betfred Championship.
But the biggest thing for me is that hopefully this match, and the fact that Toulouse are playing in Blackpool, Gets more people involved, more people wanting to follow and play the game of rugby league in France. Gives them a boost. They've at times competed. There's been a lot of injustice against them in recent times as well, but they've got to fight on and hope for the game and find some new supporters, some new sponsors. And this can be a catalyst here for growth for the game.
I wonder if we'll see Sam Cassiano for a little cameo performance, because they're going to chase for another try. Oh, Mead was looking for a hat-trick. And Gildart just managed to get there ahead of him.
Well, he gets to the ball, doesn't he, David Mead? That's a spectacular race between two Formula One race cars, and Oliver Gildart just about does enough.
One move, Ben! Ready, Remy. 0.
Wigan, meanwhile.
What do you say?
Well, the injury disruption early on to Joe Greenwood was just that.
I know, when he lost the ball, I mean, he lost the ball because of the knee injury. Catalans scored their first try because of that directly moments later. And I suppose Wigan will be regretting the opportunity that they missed with Marshall start this second half.
Yeah, just a heel of his boot on the whitewash. Well, I think it's the blue wash in actual fact. Here's Luluai. Isa now.
Movement!
Just 7 minutes of this game to go. We're just saying what a great occasion it must be to be there, to be part of this. And Wigan could yet have points on the board with Gildart, and Gildart has threatened that, has earned that. And this time he got the better of the Catalan defenders to get in at the corner. And Wigan get their first points of the second half.
Well, this was the game plan at the start of the match, to use the speed that they have on this left flank. Gildart's gone hard, managed to find that gap there. Not sure where the winger is here. David Mead's been drawn in, outnumbered, outpaced. Certainly not outplayed here today in Spain.
Very important input there from the replacement, Chris Hankinson. We hope and our fingers are crossed for Joe Greenwood, but when Chris Hankinson has come onto the field, he's had a real dig.
Oliver Gildart, that's his 50th try in Wigan colours, and Zach Hardacre can't improve on it. But Gildart fully deserves that. He's really tried his hardest when the balls come his way.
Yeah, both centres have. Dan Sargentson and Oliver Gildart, they haven't had much
time off
in terms of space and opportunity. Oliver Gildart has probably had more involvements defensively than he has with the ball, but I think that's down to the strategy and the game plan of Catalan Dragons, albeit that I think the game plan and strategy they set out with on Monday morning will be nothing like what they've been playing in this game. But credit to them, rugby league and sport in general is about adapting to what goes on, adapting to injuries and circumstance, and the Dragons have done it better than the Warriors.
33-10. 5 minutes coming up to go. And stern-faced Catalan Dragons president Bernard Gouache looks on as his side are heading for ultimately two crucial points. The occasion, the significance of it, obviously there for all to see, but for Steve McNamara and his team, it's about that Super League table and making progress. Williams making progress there, and Catalan too keen to stop it. Wigan will get the penalty.
Bousquet in late, the tackle is already made, and I think the frustration of Sean O'Loughlin.
I don't mind you talking to me, right? I don't mind you talking, but you ain't coming at me like that. No, you listen to me. You're listening. Keep you calm. You've got a penalty. You don't come at me like that.
Ben Thaler's run a good game.
Yeah, he has. He's run a tight ship, as he always does. His communication with the players is top-notch, and he's obviously, he knows, he feels how frustrated Wigan are. Sean O'Loughlin, who says, "I am calm," said it in the most uncalm manner, which makes me disbelieve him.
Well, Wigan, can they rally and finish on a positive note, because they've got to quickly get themselves back to grips with things and ready for their magic assignment against Warrington. They've got a penalty right under the post. Tony Clubb impeded as he tried to play that ball. It'll be back-to-back defeats for Wigan. They were hoping to make it 4 wins in a row here at the new camp. But unless there's going to be something miraculous.
Good line speed from Kenny Edwards up, shuts that play down. Had to get it right, and he did.
Get up, play your ball. Play on.
Referee says play on. Here is Ben Flower.
Matt!
Whitley with the tackle.
Forward.
Hardacre. And there's a penalty to the Catalan Dragons.
Well, again, talked about Ben Thaler and his control of this game.
Time's off. What's it for?
Wigan Warriors giving penalties away to play the ball is unforgivable. As he stands up to play the ball, pushes the Catalan defender away, and Ben Thaler unhappy with it.
Wigan fans will be unhappy. It won't surely stop them enjoying a fine city like Barcelona. Not a bad place, I was going to say, to celebrate your 74th birthday, which is what Wigan fan Gordon Clayton is doing in Barcelona, watching this game. Gone with his son. It hasn't turned out the way Wigan were hoping, as it has in so many Wigan Catalan meetings in recent years, as it did earlier this season, emphatically in favour of the Wigan Warriors. It's the Catalan Dragons who are celebrating the victory, who will be celebrating the victory. Their first over Wigan since May 2015.
But they've put a show on as well. All the players and coaching staff from both sides talked about it being just about the 2 points. You have to think like that, but in the cold light of day, in the wash-up of this game, we'll focus rightly on the 31,500 fans that have contributed to such a wonderful atmosphere. We'll talk about the game and its entertainment. Pushing, shoving, big tackles, high skills, and hopefully, as Phil said, a couple of young people in this crowd have seen something they like and they pick up a rugby ball and start playing our great game.
Catalan have left that ball for Whitley to chase. Oh, and then Whitley disappears.
Yeah, he was trying to put the brakes on then, wasn't he, Matt Whitley?
That is one of the risks of these very tight...
Yeah, you've not much room to play with, have you?
No.
Ooh. Should be used to that kind of surface. Widnes, former Widnes player, of course.
Don't think it's that slippery.
Well, there's just at the edge of the grass, just at the edge of the field, that kind of artificial surface that Matt Whitley's played a lot of his rugby league on.
Well, here's Liam Marshall. Ooh, Marshall, victim of a high tackle from Braden Welliame. Kenny Edwards, I beg your pardon. Yeah. Not the... It was a leisurely high tackle, wasn't it?
Here, boys. Come on.
78 minutes gone. 33-10. Here's Tony Clubb. Casti.
Move, Remy! Line, lads.
What pride he will take in this result for the club. He has represented a record number of times.
Yeah.
And that's a penalty. And Remy Casti played in the last game that Catalan played in Barcelona when they played Warrington at the Olympic Stadium, and he was on the losing side that day. Now he's going to emerge victorious.
And you feel for players like that, don't you? You know you can identify with the emotion that they've got, the pride, as you've said, and the toil that they've put into this club. 13 years he's been involved. For 13 years, he'd have dreamt of an occasion like this, and a victory, and an impressive victory as that.
Impressive from Gigo, hounding down Joe Burgess there. Burgess didn't like it. It was Bousquet who arrived second in the tackle. Now Hardacre is chasing. Hardacre will get the last try of the game. The hooter actually sounding. Referee awards it without hesitation. and some consolation at the last for the Wigan Warriors. A little individual effort from their full-back, and Casti it was, couldn't deny him.
Zach Hardacre has nothing to lose, puts it on the end of his toe. We've seen quite a few of these in the last few weeks. The old chip and chase went out of fashion for a long time. But a chip and chase over the top, picks it up, regathers, but it will not dampen the celebrations. You can see the hugs and embraces of those Dragons players. They've got the win, they've entertained the crowd.
Hardacre converts. Wigan, in the closing few minutes of the first half, have salvaged some pride and given themselves a bit of springboard. What a springboard it is, though, perhaps, for the Catalan Dragons, for rugby league in France, for rugby league in Barcelona, because they have lived up to the hype, they've lived up to the occasion. Remy Casti and Sam Cassiano have stood tall in this one, and they have beaten the Wigan Warriors 33 points to 16 on a memorable day at the Nou Camp.
Well, thank you very much, Bill, and thank you to our main event viewers. We'll take you now to Bethpage Black on Long Island for action for the 101st PGA Championship. That's coming up next here on Sky Sports Main Event. All right, we can bring you the scoreboard now from the Nou Camp Stadium. Remember, it was just a 2-point half-time lead for the Catalan Dragons, 8-6. Well, they had extended that in some style in the second half, winning out in the end 33-16. And a big day for Super League, but a very important 2 points for the Catalan Dragons. Let's bring you the other scores from the round 15 matches that took place today. Jordan Abdul scored 4 tries in the first half in London's victory over Wakefield. In fact, London led at one stage 42 points to 6 before Wakefield roared back with 18 points in the last 6 minutes of that, though it wasn't enough. And for the second time this season, Danny Ward's men have beaten Chris Chester's Trinity side. Warrington went down at home against Hull FC. Hull FC coming right at the right time of the season for Lee Radford, 19-12 in that one. What does it do to the Betfred Super League table? Well, Hull FC now up into 4th spot. And action at the bottom is going to be very interesting as Leeds, Hull Kingston Rovers and London are all locked up on 8 points apiece. London still in the relegation positions. Right, we can look through the second half from Barcelona now in the company of Phil Clark and Tony Ray. Catalan Dragons, Tony Ray, picking up where they left off in the first half after an early Wigan chance.
Yeah, it was critical that this just an inch into touch. We just watch his left foot comes down here, hits the touchline, no try. And it was a good moment for Catalan because they were able to then get down the other end of the field. This man, Cassiano, just dominated this opening 20 minutes. Picks up a loose ball, great skill. We've been trying to get Mead and Willian into the game, and they sure did there in the most... Look at Cassiano again with a beautiful little pass out the back. He got hit off the ball, created a penalty. He was dominating the game. He was making Wigan react, and they weren't handling it.
That was 16-6, and man of the match, Samazoni Langi then get in on the action, Phil Clark.
Well, this is so out of character, so surprising to see them split Wigan from a kick-off like that, but wonderful play. Many people thought he was going to have a big game, and Willian certainly did that. And so did McAlorum too. The way that he invited people onto it. His defence was a contributing factor in the aggression with which his teammates stopped Wigan going forward. And his side certainly rolled forward again here. And the close range try, crashing over, not a lot of passes, but enough power.
We called for control from Tony Gigo in the second half. He certainly showed that, and he came up with an important one-pointer. Kenny Edwards causing all sorts of trouble in that left-edge attack for the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, that was right. This was a run that put this man, Gigo, in the position where he could come up with that one-pointer. And it was just a nice mental bit of control, saying to my team, hey, I got this. I'll keep making decisions for you. You get me down there. You keep working. And these are sort of the moments that summed it up for Catalan. They kept winning the bounce of the ball, the 50-50s. But you have to be up and leaning into a game to pick those up. They out-enthused Wigan. They dived on every loose ball.
Game wrapped up then, Phil, 33-6, but 2 late consolation scores and no more than that for Wigan.
You know, I suppose 5 tries to 3 at the end doesn't look that bad, but the full-time scoreline was clearly a favour of them. I think this is brilliant skill. It's pity it counts for very little here. But his pick-up there is magnificent under pressure from Casti. Pity, though, that it won't make much of a difference. Certainly won't stop the Catalan fans celebrating long and hard tonight.
The 2 points were important, Phil, and the emotion around the event was parked for the 80 minutes by the coach Steve McNamara and the players. Now they can soak up what is a significant win in the history of this club.
Yes, it is. I think for the sport, really, the Catalan Dragons, we all needed them to win this game. And then what we all need is for them to turn this into a positive advantage and a long-term one for the game of rugby league. Not one that lasts for 24 hours, but one that has an impact over the next 24 months, getting more players, more people, and grows the game in France.
The magnitude of the occasion and the success of the event shouldn't be unremarked, Tony. A Super League weekly round record in Barcelona, in the Nou Camp Stadium of all places, is absolutely sensational for the game, for the competition, for these two clubs.
And the vision shows you that there when we're looking at the scenes. It tells you it's been a winner. Everybody's enjoyed that. I think right back from the way they were invited. They've come over to London, won a Challenge Cup, taken it back. It turned the heads of the people at Barcelona. It turned their president's head. He felt he wanted to invite these guys back. Love the shirts, love the colouring, love all the messaging that goes with it. And they played particularly well. They've come out with an outstanding performance, and it's been a wonderful event.
OK, we can go back to the Nou Camp Stadium and hear from the man of the match, Samisoni Langi, who is with our reporter there, Richard Graves. Richard.
Samisoni Langi, you are the Betfred Super League man of the match. We'll give you that silver salver. Put this result into perspective in front of all these Catalan fans.
Mate, it's an awesome experience. Almost atmosphere, especially to be down here in Barcelona. It's a big occasion for us Dragons and the people of Catalan. As you can see, the fans love it. Yeah, it was just a big occasion to play down here in Barcelona.
2 points ahead at half-time, then you score 3 quick-fire tries at the start of the second half. What was said in the dressing room?
Well, Mac just told us, we just had to keep doing the little things right. In the first half there, we just kept turning the ball over. First and second tackle in good ball, and we just had to hold on to the ball, and eventually we'll come away with the result.
You continue to climb that Super League ladder now, close the gap on the top two as well. Is this the season when we see the Catalan Dragons' resurgence?
I sure hope so. We're doing everything right at the moment, and hopefully we'll be there at the end come September for final footy.
As man of the match, you get a cheque for £250 to the charity of your choice. Where will it go?
I'll just donate this to the Cancer Research UK.
A fantastic cause. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
In we come here, Steve. What a performance and what a win today.
Yeah, outstanding, eh? Well, a great day. A fantastic day for our club. This was our Wembley in a way. We got to the Challenge Cup final last year. Our fans spent as much money as they could to get across there. I think we took 5,000 or 6,000 over, but as a result of winning that, we got their chance in their place. And just sensational day. I thought defence won us the game. I thought our defence was dogged. We forced errors. We were struggling with our half-backs. We didn't really have genuine half-backs, but we managed to score 30-something points and win the game. But for me, that was down to our really strong defence.
What was the deciding point in this game? Was it that 60-second period right at the start of the second half when Wigan have a try chalked off, and then you went right down the other end and scored yourself?
Well, there's a couple. There was the try at the end of the first half, which shouldn't have been a try for Wigan, off the forward pass, and then, he puts his foot on the sideline there. But apart from that first set, the second half, we came out the block second half. I think we were 10 from 10 sets, our completions were high, our defence was dogged, and we managed to pick some points up. And on a draining day like this, once you find the lead and you get in front, it's very difficult to chase you down. And thankfully, it was us who found that march in the second half.
Congratulations, well done today. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Bring in Adrian Lammer as well now. He's just coming over to us. The losing head coach for the Wigan Warriors. Adrian, come on in here. A tough afternoon at the office in the end.
Yeah, really disappointing, with such a great occasion. I'm just disappointing right across the board.
What was the deciding factor in this game? Only a 2-point game at half-time.
Oh, look, I think, we had that opportunity to score that try in the second half, and I think that was a massive play in regards to the outcome of the game. I just thought when you're playing Catalans over here and you've got to take those opportunities, get in front of the scoreboard, I think the whole second half would have been different. But it wasn't to be from that. It was just a little bit of adversity. I don't think we responded really well to that. And from there, a couple of opportunities just blew out the score.
He picks up a couple of knocks as well. Is there any updates on that?
No, we'll have a look at that tomorrow and Monday Monday or Tuesday when we get back. So Greenwood doesn't look good, but we've been dealing with that all year, so we just move forward.
And what's the plan now, obviously, with Magic Weekend around the corner?
Yeah, we need to respond from that, obviously. I questioned the players today. Starting to get some players back in a healthy shape and state, so there is going to be some competition coming out now. So you know, I guess it wasn't the performance we wanted, but it gives me an opportunity now to sort it out.
Hard luck today.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, Adrian.
Yeah, now Adrian Lamb must prepare his Wigan Warriors for Game 3 on day 1 of the Magic Weekend at Anfield, where they will face the Warrington Wolves, who were defeated today by Hull FC. It was the 35th Super League meeting of the Catalan Dragons and the Wigan Warriors, and for the first time in 10 of those, the Dragons have prevailed. A really important point made by Steve McNamara in that post-match interview with Richard Graves is they have scored 33 points without halfbacks on the field, and that's quite remarkable.
They had the biggest halfback we've seen in Super League on the field in Big Cassiano, because he was playing the ball, he was dominating the middle, and they were just feeding off him. Samason-Ilongi's not really, to me, he doesn't even look like a half, like a 6. He just seems to play and roam around almost like a loose 13. So, full credit to them. I love his biggest point, he was right, was the doggedness in their defence. They were just frustrated, Wigan. The Catalan guys were just rushing off the line, and Wigan was shut down on time and space, and they couldn't find a solution.
That helped them to win the Challenge Cup last year. You could do that in 4 games, get yourself up for it. Can they get up for it for the next 14 games in Super League? Because that dogged defence was fantastic. They'll obviously need more of that, and a little bit more with attack, which I guess they'll get when players come back from injury.
Well, they will open up the Magic Weekend, the Catalan Dragons playing Wakefield, who went down to London today. Let's talk about the Wigan Warriors here. They had that really good performance in defeat against the Warrington Wolves in the Challenge Cup last Sunday. In the commentary, perhaps fatigue put forward as a suggestion as to maybe why they weren't at their maximum. Adrian Lamb certainly with no excuses. What I'll say to you is this: was that a tired Wigan Warriors performance, or is that just a side who won 6 out of 14 Super League games coming into this match and now just 6 out of 15?
I think when Joe Greenwood got injured, I think that had a massive impact on them, because I think they rely so much on that left side. They've scored 3 times as many tries on the left as they have on the right. He went off the field. Later on, we then saw George Williams playing around like a hooker position, so it lost its shape, didn't it, as a team? And sometimes that happens when injuries occur and the scoreboard goes against you. I think they were a very good team last week against Warrington, in a good quality game. Couldn't get back up to today. I think they're better than what we saw in that second 40, but clearly not good enough to win that game. And I would
say on the question though, it can't be because of last week. It just can't be fatigue. It's, you know, they're used to going week in, week out. It was a big game. OK, it was a big game. This was a big game. You know, surely you show up and you have to get on, but they can't use it was a tough game last week. That's just not what sport's about.
They are running out of games, the reigning champions, the defending champions. They're running out of games to get a requisite amount of wins.
Brian, you could say they've run out of games today, because that was the team that was above them. That's a chase game, and they've been flat on it. You know, we're pushing a fair way into this season now. You know, stats will show they've got a real uphill chance to even get to the playoffs.
All right, Phil, cap the day for us.
Rugby League was the winner, wasn't it? And I hope that the Catalan Dragons can convert the new people, the new followers, the interest and media coverage that they've got to benefit them and Rugby League in the south of France. Yeah, a very special day for Rugby League and for Super League as we grace the stage of the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona for the first time. Right, we've got more Rugby League coming up for you. This from the Blackpool's Bloomfield Road. It's going to be day 2 of the Summer Bashes tomorrow. Featherstone York is coming up on Sky Sports Arena next. 3 p.m. start, or sorry, 8 p.m. I should say, with Bradford Halifax. Both of those tonight. Tomorrow, day 2 will start at 1 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena. And Magic Weekend from Anfield. Day 1, which is Wakefield, Catalan, Hull, Huddersfield and Wigan, Warrington, starts at 1:55 p.m. on Sky Sports Action. Day 2, which sees Salford take on Hull Kingston Rovers, Leeds take on London, a game of huge significance, and St Helens against Castleford will bring the curtain down. 12:55 p.m. Sky Sports Arena for Day 2. Well, my thanks to Tony Ray and to Phil Clark, and thanks to you at home for your company as well on a momentous day for the Betfred Super League as we went to the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona. The Catalan Dragons brought the game there, they brought the reigning champions there, and they came away with a huge and never to be forgotten victory.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.